You can step into my world, see the way I see it, no matter near or far. It is a sight worth seeing. Step into my world, see the way I see it. Rivah TV. Rivah TV. Good evening, everybody. Good evening, good evening, good evening. Thank you so much for joining me on this good Tuesday evening. Okay, so we are back here again at Rivah TV with another live stream video. Make sure you guys don't forget to like the stream on the way in. Kendrell is always on it. Okay, so make sure that you like the stream on the way in. Make sure that you share this live stream. Comment your opinions, your feelings, and also you have to make sure that you hit that subscribe button. Guys, I'm going to be honest. And I see you, Edward, in the chat. I see Kashawn in the chat. Yes, exactly. We're back in. I'm going to talk just very briefly, and then I'm going to go ahead and bring up Edward and Kashawn right away. So, especially so that Kashawn is able to finish his points that he was not able to finish yesterday. So we're definitely going to do that. But I also wanted to give a little backstory of where I got this idea from. And I want to make this very clear. Okay. Tonight, we're not going to be on here for 5 hours. Okay. I promise this time we're not going to be on here for 5 hours. I'm still pooped from yesterday. Okay. Like literally still really, really tired from yesterday's festivities when we were here from 5 p.m. until almost 11 o'clock, 10 o'clock, whatever the time frame was. But I also wanted to bring this space where we can have a different aspect of the same conversation, and again, still allow people who were not able to share their thoughts, their feelings, their opinions on this stream as well. So again, thank you so much, everybody who is coming in. Hello, Kevin C. Thank you again so much for your input yesterday. Hello, Eugene. So nice to see you here. So I wanted to just go ahead and just dive in, right? So as you guys can see by the title of tonight's stream, it is very blatant. Okay. The whole quote unquote protecting our women does not always equate to violence, right? There's different aspects of protection that don't require your man to be put into a tussle, a physical space where his heart racing, he's sweating and stuff like that. That does not signify the only means of protection in the bounds of a relationship. Sometimes a man offering protection is actually not protecting you from an outside source, an outside enemy. Sometimes protection looks like him protecting you from your own self. Okay. When your emotions are getting the best of you, when you're not being the most logical at the moment, when you are not, as in tune as you should be, when you're off balance, when he's noticing, you're maybe you're on edge more than usual, maybe because of whatever it is that you have going on within your own mind, your own feelings, your own heart, right? Your own happiness or lack thereof. Sometimes he has to protect you from yourself, and sometimes that protection of protecting you from yourself looks like, hey, we need to have a conversation. You're not acting the same. Hey, you have been laying in bed all day and, the house is a mess. Hey, you're not cooking, you're not doing the things that you normally do. We need to address this matter, right? Because based off of the conversation that we had last night in regards to the whole situation that happened at the Oscars, it's always easy for a woman to feel good when she is being quote unquote defended by her man to an outside source. But when that said man comes to you and tries to speak with you about situations regarding yourself, regarding your own well-being, regarding your relationship, you don't want to talk about it anymore. Right? You only want to talk about it when it's somebody else that's to blame. But when it's you to blame, you want no parts a part of that situation. You want no parts of the conversation, and now all of a sudden he is your arch enemy. Okay, we've had these situations where we talk about it all the time. You get a woman into a space and you know that she's wrong in a situation, and she's very, very quick to get on the defense, argue you down, um deflect from the entire situation. Well, I did this because you did that, and I did this because you said this, and well, if it wasn't for you because of what you did, then I wouldn't have even done that. Instead of being able to respect the person that you want to again, quote unquote, protect, defend you in public, you rather come against that person. It's only cool and it's only fun when that person is protecting you from an outside source, but not when that person is protecting you from possibly your own behaviors that are keeping you stagnant, or keeping you anxious, or keeping you depressed, or keeping you in the same monotonous circle of not being successful, or y- fluid in your movements. Like, okay, you're going to the gym, you're going here, you're doing this, you're going that. You don't want to hear that. But what you do want to hear is when somebody else is to blame, or when you come home from work and you're complaining about your homegirls at the job, and how your homegirls at the job did this and they did that, and that wasn't even cool, and da 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 da. And you want somebody to just sit there and tell you that you're always correct. But what about if that person tells you that you're wrong? Would you have the same, respect and applaud that you would have if they were defending you to somebody else? More than likely, no, you wouldn't. Another aspect of this conversation that I definitely want us to touch on this evening is there's a couple of reasons why some women want this. I've heard it said from, I believe it was Kevin Samuels, the Tupac in a suit. There's a couple of reasons why women like that. Of course, we know that the first, and I think most ideal, or I don't even know if ideal would be the word, but the most, what makes the most sense, right, would be childhood traumas. Some people grow up in, sticky situations in their home life. Maybe they grow up in tumultuous relationships with their family. Maybe they've seen a lot. Maybe they've, gone through harm, or whatever the case is. And in those aspects, they are looking for a savior to their traumas. Okay. So they always want to feel some level of quote unquote protection from someone, just because maybe as they were a child, they didn't feel that. Okay. Maybe they're trying to fulfill that as an adult, because something in them somewhere along the way through their growth as a child, through adolescence, before they met their spouse, they somehow felt unprotected often. So now I need somebody who is going to make me feel protected and make me feel safe. And it doesn't necessarily have to be safe from anyone or anything, but it's just a feeling of security that somebody is looking out for you. Somebody has your best interests at heart, because a lot of people grow up and they don't have those experiences. Okay? A lot of people grow up and they don't have those same feelings. They don't have parents who care, or who are around, or maybe they're latchkey kids. They just have to come home, you know their parents are working, and they have to kind of just figure things out and fend for themselves. They don't feel that security. So they equate, feeling that safety, or oh yeah, he can protect me. Somewhere in their brain it lodges, oh, this feels good. But it's more because it's a security thing. It makes them feel secure in themselves. Another aspect is we have some women who are very aggressive, okay? Not maybe by nature, but it could be by circumstance. We have some women that are very aggressive by circumstance. Maybe it's how they grew up. Again, same kind of like, maybe a rough childhood. Maybe they grew up in a certain neighborhood. Maybe they actually grew up with both parents in the home, but they were kind of like guided and spoiled in a way where their father, raised them with their mother, and it was happy wife, happy life. And you're my daughter, so you can only have the best, and you only deserve the best, and you only need to allow the best people around you and the best men, and he has to treat you better than I treat you, and they make it hard. So we have some fathers out there who have, some parents, okay, the family unit, who have made it harder for the person to um find a spouse because they spoiled them rotten. And it's like, well, if you can't do more than what my parents have done, or more than what my mom has done, or more than what my dad has done, then we can't be in a relationship. Okay, so we have that aspect as well, which um in some ways make some women very aggressive. And so what they want is, in some aspects, again, not every aspect is what I'm not talking about 100% across the board, everything needs context. Sometimes they want to be in a relationship with somebody who is very masculine, very aggressive. Again, the protector. Maybe they have to break up a fight or two and they feel like, oh, yeah, that makes me feel good because I know that at the end of the day, he's always going to have my back. But then something in them subconsciously makes them feel good when they can overpower that person as well. When they can turn that person's mind around and they can essentially run the relationship because they already feel that they are a quote unquote alpha female, right? And so now when they encounter a man who has his own mindset, his own mind frame, he's very structured, very centered, they want to go to bat with you. They see that protection and they're like, "Oh good, this is how I'll know how strong of a person that I am when I challenge him." Okay? So it's childhood traumas. Sometimes it's about environment. Sometimes it's about, trying to, for lack of better words, throwing their cojones around to see who has the bigger ones, them or their man. And some of it is not getting over one of or a person in their past that they have experienced who is an aggressor, who is maybe a fighter, who is somebody who is quote unquote somebody that can protect and can do all of these things. And they get this guy who's a nice guy, okay, cool guy. Maybe he works at the bank. Maybe he's a teacher. Maybe, he's just a stand up guy, grew up in a great family, great home. And you have some women who are turning these decent, nice men, okay, stable-minded men who are capable of marriage, who are marriage-minded, who want to be married, who want to have children, who want to have continue the stability that maybe they saw or did not see. And we have some women who want to turn them into an ex, possibly the bad boy. Okay, I got you because you want to be married and you're marriage-minded and you want a family and you want all of that. The bad boy didn't want that. But now that I have you and you're nice and you're kind, now I want to mix you and turn you into that bad boy because that bad boy made me feel some type of way. That bad boy could put me in my place, and he can do all of these things, and he was very masculine and he was very macho and all the girls want him. So I want you to be that same aggressor when it comes to outside people. But what I don't want you to do is I don't want you to have as many options as he had. I want you to be able to listen to what I say. I want to be able to run the relationship, even though with that situation he ran it. So I want a couple droplets of that thug mentality, but I could never make that thug my husband. So I want to make you, my husband, turn into the thug instead. Mind boggling. Literally makes no sense. For the love of women, for the love of their woman, a lot of men are going down different paths and taking on certain energies, um taking on certain tasks to please their woman and make their woman be happy. Okay, make their woman feel good, make their woman feel content. And they're taking on personality traits that are not of themselves to please their woman, their spouse, right? So taking on a whole armor of a personality, whatever they think that it might be, to please their spouse, to please their woman, to their own detriment. Because what they don't know, okay, what they don't know is more times than not, that woman cannot be pleased anyways, regardless of if it was the thug, because it's not good enough because he doesn't spend all the time. Even though he makes me feel good and I'm so happy when I'm around him, I can't see him all the time. I can't be with him all the time. He can't do this, he can't do that. Okay, even though you're a nice guy, you're still not this, you're still not that. Whenever you see a woman who is so conflicted within her mind frame, just know that bringing water from the moon will do nothing for her. She'll never be happy. And you'll always be working for her happiness that you will never see. It might come fleeting for a day, for 2 days, for 3 days, but overall, she can't be pleased because she's unhappy with her own self. How do I know that she's unhappy with herself? Because she's looking for happiness outside of herself. She's not a whole person. So again, protection is not always defending you physically, out in the street, out in public, defending you against everybody, because everybody across the board cannot always be wrong. Sometimes it is you. Sometimes protection is, hey, I need to have this talk with you and tell you what you're doing wrong so that I can protect maybe your job. I can protect your relationship with your children. I can protect your relationship with your family. I can protect your relationship with your siblings. Okay. Again, your job, you're coming home and you're complaining about the boss every day, but it's not the boss's fault that on the weekends you have so much stuff to do, because when you are well rested, you're not complaining every time that you come home. So maybe we need to discuss how we need to maneuver better. I'm not going to tell you to quit your job because it's going to make you feel good, because what's going to happen is you're going to get into the next job and you're going to repeat the same exact actions and you're going to be unhappy all over again. So sometimes protection is having, a one-on-one moment and saying, maybe it's you. And let me have this conversation with you so that I can assist you in making better uh, decisions in the future, so that I won't have to always constantly step in on your behalf. Not that it's a problem, but that I can bring clarity so that maybe you won't be so enraged or so angry at outside sources when sometimes it's you. Maybe you'll be able to analyze instead of a man at the grocery store saying that he can't cash your check. And because of your stress of needing the finances, because of your stress of not knowing how you're going to pay the light bill, okay? Because of your stress of not being trying to figure out how we're going to buy Pampers for our baby or put gas in our car or whatever the case is, you won't flip out on him, which is going to make him harm you. And now it's going to invite your man into a space that he can be harmed. Instead, protection looks like, babe, let's not stress the things that we can't control. It'll work out. It'll be cool. It'll be fine. Let's not fly off the handle at every bump in the road that life has to offer. Sometimes that's what protection looks like from your man, but you have to be able to receive it. You can't only receive it when protection looks like him going to bat against his the like of himself, another man, or your homegirls that's saying some stuff that you don't like. And what you really didn't want was anybody to tell you the truth, but what you really wanted was just somebody to be on your side and listen to you and tell you that all of your thoughts and your feelings were correct. You can't trade one for the other. Okay? Sometimes protection looks like you need to get in the gym because you're not only out of shape, right? Which is the physical, it doesn't make you feel depressed. Okay? You're walking around with depression. The reason why you're just throwing on sweats every day, you don't care to do your hair anymore, you don't care to do your makeup anymore, you're not smiling as much as you used to, you want to sleep all day, something is wrong. You need to get a boost of energy, you need that blood flow, that good circulation for your brain, those good endorphins flowing through your body so that we can be in a better space and so you can be in a better space emotionally. Every time that you go to the store to buy clothes and they don't fit, it makes you feel some type of way. So sometimes protection looks like of your mind, of your sanity. Sometimes protection looks like, babe, get in the gym because I know this is good for you. And also, especially if you have children or you want to have children, you're trying to build legacy. Sometimes protection looks like you need to lose some weight so that you're here for the long haul. It's not always an outside source. Sometimes it's letting you know we don't have to talk about this situation right now. We can talk about this later because I'm protecting our relationship because your emotions are high and you're flying off the handle and it's very apparent that you are possibly going to say something that you don't mean that is going to damage our relationship. So sometimes when your man says, let's not have this conversation right now, that's a protection as well, not arrogance. That's what protection looks like. Sometimes protection looks like, hey babe, you need to drink some water. Sometimes protection looks like you need to drink some water. It sounds funny, it sounds simple, but I want it to resonate. That's why I paused. Sometimes for sure that's what it looks like. You want to know why? Because sometimes our brains can be so distorted from situations and from how we view life based off of your salt intake, your sodium intake, your sugar intake, okay? The stuff that you're eating, not drinking any water, and it throws off you know, it creates this chemical imbalance in your brain that makes you see things in a different light than you would normally see them if you were more healthier, if you were more on the healthy side. Let's not stay one-sided with this situation. Let's not only say he's a good man when he protects you to somebody else. Sometimes you don't need that protection from somebody else. What you need is your man to go over there and talk to that man decently and put you in your place and tell you, why do you want, what would make you have such a thrill to see me against somebody who is similar to myself, two men fighting? Why does that bring you joy to see two men fighting and saying, yep, that's my man? Why does putting me in harm's way make you feel good? Why does putting me in jeopardy make you feel good? Because sometimes my protection is having a conversation with that person, as I just said, and then coming back to you and telling you this is not the place nor the time. We can talk about this in the car. We have women that are on social media right now as we speak who are doing exactly what I said on my live stream yesterday that I knew they were going to say. Oh, you need to get you a man like Will because that's what we need, and we need a man that's going to defend us just like that because that it from what? From what? You want your man to defend you outwardly, but his biggest enemy is you. Let's talk about it. His biggest offense is you. His biggest threat is you. The most people, you're worried about all these outside people, but You're in conflict with him every day. If he says left, you say right. If he says up, you say down, and then you turn around and you say, "Oh, I can't believe that somebody did this." You better, address this in the way that I think you should address it. Sometimes it's not about how you think it should be addressed. Again, you have to be able to trust the space of your spouse, knowing what's right, knowing when to hold them and knowing when to fold them. That's what's very important. That's what's important. I'm going to go ahead and drop the live stream link so that you guys can come on in. Again, I want us to go ahead and continue the conversation. I just wanted to go ahead and just add my thoughts and my feelings, my opinions, just to a different aspect of the conversation. Again, if you missed my live stream yesterday, of course, we were talking about the entire situation that occurred at the Oscars, with the whole Will and Chris Rock situation. And, I just think it's so sad. I did drop the link, but I just think it's extremely sad that so many people don't see the bigger picture and they only see what they quote unquote think feels good or think is right. So I definitely want to talk about this. I don't get why there's this thing of like, oh, all of our women need protection and all of our women need this and all of our women need that, and yes, protect, finally somebody protecting black women, and finally somebody doing all of this and protecting our this and all these things. And then at the end of the day, okay, the person that he's most coming up against is you. It's you. The women at his job respect him. When he goes to the grocery store, he gets respect. His peers respect him. His friends respect him. His family respects him. Even and if especially if you haven't tainted the children, more times than not, the children respect him. The arch enemy is you. So how can we claim that we need all this? And I see all the comments and, oh yes, that's exactly what I'm talking about, because my man better do this for me. You can't even get a man. Okay? And sometimes you'd rather peace of a relationship. Okay? Let's be real. Even if it's unhealthy, even if you're the sneaky link, even if he only hitting you up at a certain time of night, even if it has to be a space where you don't necessarily want, a space where you have to, have an open relationship or whatever it is. I'm just using this for example. But you rather that because you know that if you go out into the field, it's going to be hard for you to actually get on the accord of someone else and somebody actually deal with all the mess, foolishness, stress that you bring to the table as well. But yet, we're high-fiving each other and we're applauding each other. I haven't heard anyone telling anybody else about how she should have been holding her man down for his night, for his evening. And again, he can react, he can have a conversation with him. He could have said whatever he had to say. Okay? You put your man in a space against his peer because of how you feel. How you feel. And it shows me the state that we're in. Especially, I know that I obviously am not in the dating realm. I don't date women. You know what I'm saying? Like, men are experiencing women, and I talk about these things just based off of my conversations with women, but I definitely see things, and I see it clearly, the state that we're in, when I see how many people are applauding one another, right? Applauding the situation, but not talking about the root of the situation. So I'm gonna go ahead. I see Eugene is back here as well. I'm gonna go ahead and bring everybody up. If you do wanna come on or jump onto the stream, I have no problem. The link is in the chat. We're just going to, like I said, kind of finish up this conversation that we had yesterday and touch on different aspects. Of course, I want to start with you, Kashawn, because your screen time last night was very, very short lived. And you had so much to say. You were dropping so many gems. So I definitely want to start with you. And then we're all going to, just like I said, have this conversation.
Okay. Just like I was saying last night, some of the things I noticed that I didn't really hear people talk about was, like I said, the two things that took place. One, you had you had Will supposedly defending his wife, protecting. And like I said, most people don't understand what the meaning of protection actually is. And number two was we saw on full display a black comedian make a joke,
Mm-hmm.
and black man get up and put his hands on the man, come sit down, and then cause even more stir at his seat. But all he had to do was say what he wanted to say at said seat.
Right.
And like I said, in my opinion, I feel like it was a move of manipulation on Jada's part.
This is why I wanted you to start because you said this last night, and I was like, hmm.
And I I'm a critical thinker, so
Mhm.
I think about things the average person may not. And so when I watched the video, I was thinking about other things. And when you see Chris make the joke and the camera pans to Will and Jada, you see Will. He's laughing, does not look uncomfortable, does not look upset. You
Nope.
see Jada snarling and rolling her eyes, and then the camera pans away, and all of a sudden Will walks up to the stage and goes back to his seat, yelling and screaming like he's angry.
Mm-hmm.
Just a few seconds ago, he was hee ha ha laughing with the rest of the crowd.
Right.
So, like I said, I feel like it was a game of manipulation, and I say that having experienced something similar myself at a younger age with a
Mm-hmm.
girl that I thought I liked and I thought liked me, but what I found out later on down the line was a case of manipulation and control. And to add to my point, I don't know if anybody saw this today, but Jada posted a message today.
No, I didn't see that.
Yeah, she posted a message that said, "This is a season of healing. I'm here for it." When I read that, first thing that came to mind is basically what I was saying last night. And then when I think about the when I saw the video for his acceptance speech,
Mm-hmm.
and he was talking about you know he got to protect the cast, and protecting his family. And when they pan the camera back on Jada,
Mm-hmm.
she had this devious smirk on her face, like like what took place is what she wanted. And then reading that message today kind of solidified what I was feeling. Because you said this is a healing season. What healing took place? And you're here for what? Exactly.
Like that was a point. Like you just don't post nothing. Just don't post nothing. Just don't post nothing. If you're not gonna apologize or, girl.
I mean, what are you posting for? Because you didn't say nothing when your man got up on that stage in front of the world and put his hands on somebody that was known as y'all friend. You didn't say nothing when he came back to his seat and was screaming and hollering. You never said a word. You never moved. But you had Denzel, you had Tyler Perry, you had other folks during the intermission talking to Will. Where were you? How come you didn't say a word? Because you wanted that chaos. You
Mm-hmm.
wanted that confusion to ensue. Because you haven't had your call for an award yet. I'm sure you've had a couple of nominations, but not an award yourself. And if I recall, the last time you were even considered for an Oscar, y'all wanted to boycott because it was too white. Now your husband is up. His number has been called. It's time to get his award. And 5 minutes before he's supposed to receive his reward, you cause him to act out. Why? Why? Because you wanted to shine. You wanted the attention. You didn't want him to have the attention. Now it's no longer about Will receiving the reward. It's not even about Will slapping. Oh, it's about Will. It's about Jada's medical condition. Really?
Mm-hmm. Right. And I want to say you're saying it all, man. You're definitely saying it all. because I even want to say I saw something this morning actually, and it was a post of her laughing about it herself.
Hmm.
She was saying, she was like on Instagram Live, I think it was, and she was like making a joke of it herself and saying, "Oh, what am I going to do at this point? I might as well just laugh." And was making light of the situation. Not to say it didn't affect her still, but she was making light of the situation. So somebody else making a joke, and it wasn't even, to me, it wasn't a joke as in, I don't think maybe it was ill put because he didn't know, but I don't think it was a joke of like, he didn't call her a gremlin.
No, no.
He referred to another movie actress who was still another beautiful woman who played that character, which was Demi Moore.
Thank you. Now, if we take the whole G.I. Jane situation, if anybody knows the movie G.I. Jane,
Mhm.
she was probably like in the movie she was maybe like the first female in the military, what have you, and
Mhm.
wanted to be treated like one of the guys and not this dainty little thing. And she felt like she had to go through the grunt they went through to win their respect. And then so one of those things she chose to do was shave her head.
Right.
Didn't stop her from being powerful, didn't stop her from being a beautiful woman.
Right. Right.
But, those who follow Jada religiously, watch every episode of the Red Table Talk, they knew about the alopecia. Not everybody knew. I,
Mhm.
I knew in passing because I saw little things here and there, but
Me
I never.
too.
When I listened to the joke, that was not even on my mind. And so those people who knew that, they took it as he was coming straight for the jugular, right for that medical condition. No,
Mhm.
it was about the hairstyle.
Right.
If we're being honest, a lot of black women, particularly in the industry, are doing what? Shaving their heads for whatever reason. You had
She's
Sanaa
done it before
Lathan.
as well.
Exactly. That's not her first time having a low haircut.
Mm-mm.
We all know. You got Sanaa Lathan who shaved her head completely bald for her film.
Mhm.
You got India Irene who shaved her head and made a song, "I'm Not My Hair."
Right.
You know, so
I had
for
short hair
people,
too. I don't know if everybody knows that. I had short hairs as well. So, exactly. It's
so
not uncommon that somebody may not know, and just make a joke off of your appearance and be like, "Ooh." And as I
right.
said before last night, so many people do that with fat people all the time. They never think of if somebody might be going through something or sick or
Right,
whatever. They just say it and everybody's just supposed to be okay with it. And then what is
right.
somebody going to say? "Oh, that's not nice because, high blood pressure." No, everybody's going to be like, "And?"
Hmm.
If it's the average person, they're going to say, "And?"
Right. And I guarantee the people when they hear alopecia and they understand that it's for hair loss, they don't have a full understanding of it because there's levels of it.
Right. There
She's
is.
only she's only dealing with the hair loss on her head. Her eyebrows are clearly still there.
Mhm.
But you got some people who lose hair completely from their entire
Everywhere.
body. So they're not having hair on top of their head, no eyebrows, no facial hair.
Nothing.
I know somebody that has that. Grown man,
Yeah.
no hair at all. But Chris Rock is a legend in the comedian era. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So for y'all to assume that he was being rude, disrespectful, making that joke, you don't know what was on Chris's mind. You don't know. He said that he didn't know. We don't know for sure if he knew or not.
And
Not,
again, I'm sorry.
no, not everybody knew about the alopecia. But the way people are carrying on about it's like they're treating it like she's got cancer and she's terminally ill and he's making fun of that. No, it was purely about the hairstyle, and
The appearance.
he thought he was making a joke with a friend, and it turned into something more
He said,
chaotic.
"Jada, I love you. G.I. Jane 2. Just say like, 'Hey, I love you. Don't take this joke personal.'"
Exactly, and that's all he said. It's not like he went on a full rant about her head. Jada, I love you. J.I. Jane 2, can't wait to see it. That's all the man said. It did not warrant any of what took place. in my opinion.
No, it didn't. And even the eye roll too. I was like, ooh,
Hmm.
if you can do that over him saying or word, whatever the case is, like I can imagine the kind of like turmoil that you guys have gone through when
Exactly.
you two disagree,
Hmm.
but
Yeah.
when I agree with that, like, and when I saw that situation, I was kind of like, I had to play it back over and over on different angles and find different aspects of it because I was like, Did I miss something?" Because
Right.
I don't know if I missed something, and I want to know what happened when that camera panned away. That's what I want to know,
Right.
because it couldn't have been just the eye roll. Like, what feeling, what situation occurred that made him walk up there? Because I'm like,
She gave him the signal
mm-hmm.
because we didn't
Wow.
see. All we saw was the eye roll, and then the camera went right back to Chris. We didn't
Mm-hmm.
see her whisper. We didn't see her give Will the look. But all of a sudden, when the camera leaves, all of a sudden he wants to catch an attitude and act chaotic.
Mm-hmm.
She gave the signal.
No, and the thing is, you know, when somebody who is losing their hair, nobody's saying that that's not serious, right? Nobody's
No,
saying
it's
that
very
that's not
clear.
something that's hurtful.
Mhm.
But what is being said in this conversation is that, and of course, like, again, I'm a hairstylist. Some people, their hair sheds too much, they start stressing out. I've dealt
Mhm.
with a lot of women who are postpartum. They have their babies and they lose a lot of hair. Like, some women literally go bald in the whole front. Like, the whole front of their hair is just gone because of the hormone changes in their body. And
Mhm.
some of them really freak out. They cry, they this. So I'm not saying that it's not something that is not an emotional thing, but it's definitely not a vile thing.
It's not.
I've seen a woman, and this is like really bad, right? But I've seen a woman who was not suffering from postpartum or anything like that. She's actually like a pretty young woman.
Mhm.
And she's J- Jewish, right? So she, very financially well off, and she always like would get extensions in her hair because her hair was very fine and like, borderline balding, basically,
Mhm.
right? Just naturally, not because of alopecia or anything. And I remember her daughter walked up to the chair when I was doing her hair and was like, "Why don't you have any hair?" And it was something that really bothered my client, like the woman I was,
Mhm.
interacting with. It was something that really hurt her feelings. And she was just like, ugh, like,
You're right.
that wasn't nice to say, but it wasn't like, why would you? And she, this is somebody I saw all the time. She always complained about it. She spent so much money, like, going and getting like the transplant and all this kind of stuff, you know what I'm saying, to
Mhm.
fix this situation. And that was like a really big like attack. And she didn't budge.
Mhm.
Everybody's different.
Yeah.
Everybody's situation is different. But again, I have to say, what the problem was is not giving him the space, in, like you said, staying in your chair and saying, "You know what? Let me give him the benefit of the doubt that he doesn't know. That's not funny. She's going through something. That's
Mhm.
not funny. She's going through that because she's sick." And then it would have been like, "Oh no, that's not funny," because now he knows. If he said another joke after that, that could have gave him the space to just be like, "Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, no, that's not funny. I love you guys. You guys are my family. I would never do that. I would never say anything
Mhm.
for the joke. I was just trying to be funny. But you're
Mhm.
beautiful anyway." Anyways, and he would have just moved on. He would have said the apology. She would have felt fine. But to
Absolutely.
like create a bigger situation out of that is kind of like, okay. Because they know, again, once it's women driven or
Mhm.
woman driven, you're gonna get a lot of support.
Mhm.
That's why.
Absolutely.
Let a
And
woman, let a woman, okay, have
Mhm.
made a joke about somebody's husband and another woman run up there and smack her. We would barely even be here. First of all, we'd barely even be hearing about it. But second of all, depending on what the situation was, it would be like a big like, she's so ghetto. She's not classy. She's
Exactly.
not this. She's not that. Why would she do something like that? Oh,
Mhm.
where is her this? But because, again, favoritism and all this kind of stuff, that's why it's everybody in the media. I feel like a majority of the people in the media are just kind of like, oh, it's Will, whatever.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And then, I look at it like this. So, I've heard a lot of different takes on it. I've heard people talk
Mhm.
about, oh, this man has been embarrassing her for years and this and that and all these other things about how she's done him. And, you know, if we look at if we look at how this whole thing started, it
Mhm.
started it started with that red tabletop. And she's basically been hanging that man out to dry ever since. And so part of that, when he saw her look, whatever look she gave him, when he realized she wasn't having it, for a man, as a man, I can say this, for a man,
Mhm.
when he sees the woman that he loves in pain of any kind,
Yeah.
he wants to do whatever he can to take that pain away.
Mhm.
And for a man like Will, who's been dragged through the mud for 2.5 years behind a young buck who laid in bed with his wife.
Can I be honest?
Hmm.
What I wanted to name this live stream,
Hmm.
I had a hard time with the name because there's
Okay.
so much stuff I wanted to talk about tonight. I
Hmm.
had a really hard time because as a person who put everything on Front Street, it doesn't matter if you had an open relationship. It doesn't matter if he's been doing it for a long time and the one
Hmm.
time you did it or whatever the case is, somebody comes and speaks out. It doesn't matter. It's spoken about.
Hmm.
Everybody knows. Okay. I think, and this is not to say anything about the type of person she is. I don't know her, but
Yep.
based off of what I see, based off of what I've seen, I think the stand-up thing to do is to just be chilling right now, because I think you said enough,
Yeah,
and I think you've
exactly.
done enough. The stand-up thing to do is to just chill. Don't cause no havoc. Don't make him have to go to bat for anybody else on your behalf. He already had to come and sit down at the table and talk about the stuff that you had to talk about because of your little okey doke.
Hmm.
Like the proper thing to do when you really care about the space of the relationship is to just chill
Hmm.
and not bring any more light or attention to you no more because of what you guys have all gone through.
Exactly.
That's the difference. I think that's the difference between a woman who really like admires her man and really loves her man genuine. I mean, I don't know if there would be certain situations going on if that was the case anyway.
Hmm.
If that was the case anyway, I don't even think a entanglement would have even began. But I'm just saying,
Hmm.
I think that it's best when you can look at the other person as your prize. That's how a
Exactly.
relationship works positively is when you as a woman say, "Man, I am I got him. I have a
Hmm.
good thing, but and because I have such a good thing going on and because I have such a good man and because he stuck by me through all my faults, my this, my that, and he never left me and we're holding it down. I have to honor him. That's like the nice thing and the thing to do. But the
Right.
problem is we have a lot of women who are with a man, but they're actually mentally with somebody else.
Exactly.
And so they're always trying to turn that person into somebody else. And that's the
Exactly.
issue. Yeah.
Exactly. And we all know who he mentally with.
Which is crazy to me. It's crazy
Hmm.
to me. Mr. Steele, I definitely want to hear your thoughts on this. And I want to come right to you, Edward. But I know Mr. Steele, we definitely didn't we missed you last night. So I have to hear what your thoughts are about this situation.
Well, when I first heard about it Sunday morning, I
Mhm.
was like, "What is this for real?" So I saw the video,
Mhm.
and I was like, "Dang, you know, what caused all this, right?" And
Right.
then from listening to what was going on, I had a conversation with my parents about it.
Mhm.
You know, Jada having the disease and everything,
Mhm.
and okay, yeah, and I had a little bit, just a little bit of an understanding. I mean, Will still mishandled it. He mishandled the situation and could have dealt with the situation a lot differently. For example, you know, as Chris was telling the joke, Will should have been like, you know,
Right.
and Chris would have stopped. And plus, or Will should have talked to him backstage, and Chris would have apologized. And I'm sure right now Chris would still apologize for it, afterwards. But to go up there and slap Chris like that. I mean, I can understand his emotion,
Mm-hmm.
but to slap him like that, you know, it makes it look bad for everybody. It looks bad, for Will.
Mm-hmm.
He just, he received this Best Actor award, and that's twice, in his life where he received an award, but tainted by controversy. Just like years ago, he was the first rapper to win an award, but controversy surrounded him. Now it just happened all over again.
Mm-hmm.
Then the first black director of the Oscars. I wonder what's going through his mind right now. You know,
Right. Like I was over here advocating for us. Why
uh,
would you do that?
yeah. So then I had a conversation with my parents, and mom told me about the disease, and I was like, okay, so that's well, it's a little bit understandable. I mean, Will mishandled the situation, but it was still understanding. But here's the part that's really amazing:
Mm-hmm.
the composure that Chris held after that.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he held his composure. Didn't even want Will charged for an assault.
Mm-hmm.
Chris didn't want that for him. So now, and by the way, I heard Will did apologize to Chris. I heard that, so
Yeah.
that's great. And like I said, I hope Chris would sort of apologize to him for that joke as well, because evidently he didn't know. But something, this is
It's funny. It's funny because somebody said I don't know where I saw it, but somebody was saying that like about an apology, and I'm like, but to be real, he doesn't even have to though, because of that slap. That slap trumped everything. You know what I'm saying? Like, not he didn't press charges. Okay, does he have to come out and apologize and become some kind of advocate for this situation? No,
Mhm.
because that slap trumped the entire thing.
It
mhm.
did.
Because I already didn't press charges. What more do you want from me now? And I want you to continue. And then you said something that made me think about something else, Mr. Steele. So, but I want you to continue first. I don't want you to lose your train of thought.
But this really brings me to a much broader situation. Away from Will. There are men who would go up and act up in front of the woman just to show them how much how strong they are,
Mhm.
protecting them. This is one of
Mhm.
those situations.
Mhm.
Some women may dig it, just like Jada did, and
Mhm.
some women may not dig it. You know, there's some women where you see her man do that, she would be scared, of her life,
Mhm.
basically.
Mhm.
So, you know, if you're gonna be, like you said, if you're gonna protect somebody, I mean, there are many other ways of doing so without, you know, if you're gonna use violence, use it as a last
Right.
result. Okay,
Right.
don't use it you know because of your feeling in the moment. Okay, please don't do that. Okay, and then I've seen cases where um it's almost like a reverse of what happened in some reunion where Ray J tells his current woman to beat the other woman's butt.
Right.
It's almost like that in
Mhm.
reverse.
Mhm. Mhm.
Somebody can look at you as a dog and say sick 'em. I
Mhm.
mean, that's what this
Mm.
is.
Mhm.
Somebody like that,
Mhm.
did not think about their better judgment. Instead, they think about the other person, What I'm going to do to show the appreciation. What I'm going to do to get validation from this person. That's what happened at the Oscars. Will want to get that validation from Jada, and then and then and then going back to this case, it didn't really make any sense.
Mm-hmm.
Um, um, it didn't really make any sense
Mm-mm.
where he defended somebody, 100%, somebody who only barely defended him at all. That's the weird thing.
Yeah, we got like a copy and paste quote on social media. I want to read this comment really quick. It says, will likely get a 5-year ban from the Oscars, have to go on an apology tour, do community service, kiss a few random babies to have a chance at making another movie. And but at the cost of, for what though? That's what we're talking about. We're talking about for what?
Yeah, exactly.
What's the point?
For something, for making a foolish decision
Mm-hmm. Right.
without any thought at all.
Right. And it's disheartening because, like I said previously, like we've never seen him in that light before. We've never seen, him kind of like I said yet yesterday, like, step off of his square. He's always been pretty cool, calm, and collected. And you said it perfectly when you said the word sick him. Like somebody can just be like, "You better get him," and he's like, "Oh, wait, where? How? Well, did you mean here? Oh, slap? Wait, what'd you say? Kick? I didn't. Oh, sorry, I didn't hear you. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
I wasn't laughing. I really wasn't laughing. I was just trying to play it cool." You know what I mean? Like, and this is why, again, I said it last night. I have to say it again. This is why you have to know your role in a relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you're the trendsetter, I should say, as the man. You're the one who sets the pace. You're the one who sets the tone. Okay, and your woman has to. Well, everybody has different relationships. Okay, and I'm gonna say that. Let me just say that. Let me start over. Okay, everybody has different relationships, but how it's normally has been over a long time, how it normally is when you have like a structured family household, it normally goes that the man sets the tone and the woman follows. The woman sets the tone for the kids follow. Okay, so that's how I normally see fit. Okay, that's how I see it to go. That's how I, in my own personal life, see that it should be. Okay, I can run this, the household. I can run the cooking. I can run the cleaning. You know what I'm saying? Like I can make sure everybody's up and ready and everything is good to go. But there's no final decision that is made, or there's no way that you're going to see me step out of a space that will even come across as a disrespect to you as my king, because at the end of the day, I know that I am still a representation and a mirror of you. So if I do this, it's going to make you look like this. I mean, and you think about that, unless you don't see yourself as a mirror to that person, unless you don't see that person as somebody outside of just another random person that can't tell you what to do and can't tell you nothing. When I see a woman, it's a little different with a man, but when I see a woman act like erratic and I see her man is there or her husband is there, her spouse is there, I look at him a little crazy. Like, oh man, this is a great representation of what you. There's different situations. There's context needed, of course, but I'm like, man, you really. Now we see what you go through. If that's how she can talk to the cashier. we see what you're going through if that's how she's having dialogue with normal people that she does not know. Imagine you, who actually is connected to her emotions, how you can make her feel. So I love your take on this, Mr. Steele, especially because, like you said, you even talked to your parents about it. How did your parents feel? Because
Well,
they've never seen this before.
well, I know that my mom felt like she actually understood Will's position.
Mm.
She even thought, well, she sure thought good for him for doing that. That's actually what she thought,
Mm,
you know.
mm,
And then after hearing more and more details about everything, it really made me think. And yeah, again, I understand Will's feeling, for somebody he loves, especially when you have a disease. I can understand that,
right, right.
how passionate you are about it. But, as a friend of mine once said years ago, feelings are not reliable guides for what is right and what is wrong.
Mm, mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Can you
that's
say
what
that?
happened there.
Please say that one more time.
Can you repeat that? Yeah.
Feelings, and like I said, a friend of mine said this to me. Well, actually preached this to someone.
Mr. Steele,
Feelings
you're
are
you're getting the credit for this tonight because he's not here.
Yeah,
So
right,
Mr.
right.
Steele said,
feelings are not reliable guides for
Oh,
determining what is right or what is wrong.
mm,
mm-hmm. Because they're fleeting.
very fleeting.
Mhm.
You can feel so angry right now, just like the Snickers commercial, right?
Mm.
Ah, you're not yourself when you're hungry, and then all of a sudden they're like, they come back and be this nice person and everything's cool. Oh, I was angry. No, I'm just kidding. I was just hungry. Or I was just tired, or feelings are very fleeting. And I think that was a great representation of when you act on impulse, when you act on how of something can make you feel, everything that you worked for, every place that you're in, every situation, and how hard you had to climb to get there, to get that first Oscar. I can't say it enough. I can't believe that was his first Oscar. Will Smith, this amazing actor that we've seen on our TV forever in different movies and different spaces. I'm gonna keep saying it. Pursuit of Happiness, that did it for me. Okay, I was crying too, like I was in the
Mhm.
bathroom with him in jail.
Yeah, I've
I'm
seen
like,
that
for
movie
real, we
too.
really, how we gonna live in this bathroom?
Great
You
movie.
know,
And
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 that
and
was
I noticed,
overshined.
yeah, and Will has been playing, some real people,
Mm.
lately. I mean, Serena and Venus's father, um, The Pursuit of Happiness, I think was also based on a true story too.
Mm-hmm.
It
Sure
was.
was.
Um, yeah,
It was. It
um,
was.
yeah, he played
He's
behind.
played some amazing fathers.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, that's true.
yeah. Oh, amazing fathers. Yeah, and
Can,
I think he was an
can
amazing
I
father for real as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Mr.
can I add to this, guys?
yeah,
Sorry, 1 second. What would you say, Mr. Steele?
Go
You
ahead.
said you think.
yeah. I think Will. Yeah, I think it's an amazing father himself, especially in the song, just the two of us.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
That was nice. I love that song too. Yeah,
Hmm.
but one really quick before I want to let Edward, well, KP first. I want to just let Kurt go, Edward go,
Good.
Resident go, and then you can go. I just want to do it in order just so everybody doesn't feel like
Perfect.
you're right. But I wanted to say something based off of what you said as well, Mr. Steele. As a woman, again, you were saying, that I have to just go right to the point. I'm trying to make it. I'm trying to, put some roses around it and spray some perfume, but it's a little hard. You know, your protection, I understand. I have to say this again. I am not saying, okay, and I'm gonna just say it, and we're gonna move right on to Edward. I am not saying, okay, because I know y'all like to call me names on the internet. Some men, some women, more women than men. I know you guys like to call me names, and oh well, she just never understands because she just wants to be, the this and the that. But if my man has to support me, if my man has to step in and put the paws on somebody, okay, if my man has to step in and physically protect me, it better be because somebody physically put their hands on me.
Hmm.
I would not put my man in the space for him to be physically harmed, for him to lose everything that he worked for, all of these things based off of a fleeting feeling. Because you know why? It doesn't matter how I feel, what I'm thinking at the moment, my emotions. What trumps all of those feelings is me thinking about him and me having his back and protecting him, seeing the bigger picture for him. It's the arrogance of some of our women. Listen, these modern women, they want everything. Oh, because if my man don't do this, and if he don't protect me like him, and if he can't fight, what if he can't? Okay, what if fighting is not his strong suit? Okay, he didn't have any practice because he probably, he grew up in a great space. He wasn't a tussler. You know what I'm saying? It's just not that type of person. Like, just not. Does that make him any less of a man? No, because protection, like the title, protecting our women sometimes mean let me go ahead and call the police because these people acting crazy and they have, weaponry. And the only way I can protect my family and my household, I can do my best. But what good is it going to be if I go out there and act the fool trying to protect you and then I leave you here by yourself because these people have tools that I don't have?
Exactly.
Right,
Now
right.
that
And
money
it
coming
comes
in.
back, yeah, it comes back to that what if situation, after the slap. I mean, I mean, Chris already, did not press charges against him. But you know what? It could have been an all-out fight afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
But Chris didn't do that, you know?
Mm-hmm. I want to read this comment really quick, and then Edward, I definitely want to hear your take on this. So this comment says, "What if you're out in public with your man?" Okay, this is directed directly to me. What if you're out in public with your man and y'all pass a group of guys who are catcalling you? Would you view your man differently if he doesn't check those guys? Check them for what? Okay, hold on. Let me just let me just readjust
Put
myself.
that to the system. Put
Let me
that
just let me just adjust myself. Check
to.
them for what? For a cat calling me? I see my brain doesn't work. You can't ask me questions like this because my brain doesn't work like how you think. I think if you see me walking with my man and there's a group of you guys and you guys are acting like you don't see this man and you only see me, I am going to put my arm on his arm and be pulling like this. Okay? Don't say nothing. Please don't. Please don't. That's going to be me. When I see the foolishness starting, I'm going to say please don't say nothing because I have sense. I'm a logical thinker. If they're crazy enough to catcall me in front of my man, they might be crazy because they have some kind of backative, some kind of backing that makes them feel superior. They can look okay. What they see me, they're trying to. Oh, hey, Lamar, that's disrespectful. Yes, but I'm not going to edge him on and be like, oh yeah, you better do that because they called me and they was trying to holla at me. For what? I would feel way more at peace if we just act like we didn't hear them and just keep it pushing. And I have to say this in the best way. Um people lose the opportunity of living life and being alive for less. That's what I think about. And because he is my priority and because he is somebody that I'm going to look at him for his best interest at heart, why would this matter at all? I'm not petty. That's a problem. That's what I'm saying. A lot of these modern women got you thinking that all women think like this. Petty. Oh, well, you better not because what did you say? I am married. I'm gonna go get my man. Did he know you're married? Did he know you're in a relationship? He's a beautiful woman and he was trying to approach you because he thought you were attractive and you're upset because a man approached you? What? What are the odds of that? Are you walking around with the stamp that says you have a boyfriend? That's what men do. They see attractive women. Sometimes they're hollering at you, and it's not even because they really want anything to come of it. They just bored. Some men do it because they're bored. It just seems like a cool thing to do. They're not even expecting you to turn around, and when you do, they're like, "Oh, okay, cool. Hey, oh, a number. All right, cool. I'll just take it then. Cool, and we can see what happens." I was just kind of playing. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. Okay, Edward, please.
Nah, facts to pick up where you left off. That usually works when you kind of playing. You like, oh, I didn't know like this would work. Usually when you're relaxed, uh, that's when it does work out. man, you made me think of so many things, but to just go right off of what you're saying,
Okay.
I'll be trying not to get lost in thought because everybody's saying so much deep stuff, and River, you
I
dropping
know,
so
I
much
know.
stuff.
No.
Um, but some people, I'll let's go back to the catcalling thing, and maybe, well, kind of after that, some women might flirt with you, knowing
Mm-hmm.
their boyfriend's going to get jealous, or that
Mm.
he's one of those fly off the handle dudes, knowing
Yep.
she got no interest in you whatsoever.
Mm.
So you might be one of those dudes that just highlight everything, or you might be a dude that's just, she just want to see if she could, she want to see how much her boyfriend loves her, or how much her, so she's gonna, come towards you, or you know
And I
and
want to
I'll
add
be,
to that
uh-huh,
too.
go ahead.
Sorry, I want to add to that too. And sometimes it's this innocent bystander who's a part of an argument that she had no idea about because he saw her, she saw him liking some girl picture on Instagram and feels insecure, feels some type of way and want to show that she still got it. So there's this innocent person involved in thinking a beautiful woman is flirting with them and, trying to highlight them like you're saying. And he done stepped into an argument that he has no idea about.
Hmm.
True.
A heated argument with baggage and years invested and emotions. Whew. I can't. Well, let's say you got me thinking. I'm trying to think of, you made me think of one particular situation where, um, the I knew the young lady. It was nothing like this, but when a woman is just saying stuff to just say stuff, they're gonna talk crazy. They're gonna say some stuff that they wouldn't. They're flirting on a level that they wouldn't normally flirt at when they know that. And I want to say what's up to everybody on the panel. Resident, I know you got something to say. It just seemed like you ready, like,
Well, first,
um.
first we have to let Kirk go first. 'Cause I think Kirk was here
Oh
first.
yes,
Believe me,
of
I'm
course,
patient.
and Kirk.
Yeah.
And Kirk, salute Kirk, salute Kirk. So I
Yes.
had a few, like, three more things to say, I
Go
think.
ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Um, one is one's particularly, well, I got one that's kind of, crazy, but not really. But I have another perspective that I
Sure.
was meaning to say yesterday, but I didn't think of it anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Like I use Kashawn, like Kashawn, my man, 50 grand. Like, so to say I'm Chris Rock and Kashawn is Will Smith,
Mm-hmm.
and he's telling me, I don't want to use this example because it's bad, but let's just say he has an entanglement marriage, and he's
Right.
like, he comes to me and we've been friends for like 20 years, and he's like, man, my marriage been in shambles. I'd be like, yo, just smack me on stage so it looks like you do, like you've been getting made fun of for 2 years, bro. Just, we're gonna make it look good, we're gonna make it look real, nobody gonna mess with you no more. Like yo, just smack me, bro. Like if it's come to that bad that you gotta smack me on the Oscars to save your marriage or to get some respect back in your marriage, then I might do it. Especially, you know, um, I got a dude that I'm really cool with. We grew
Mm,
up together.
I just got what you said.
Yeah, I mean, and again, it's he should leave, but you can't kind of tell. Again, it's so hard, it's so deep when you got emotions invested, and
Yeah.
salute Simone B. I don't know
Hello.
Simone B,
Yes.
but salute to you. Um, so it's like kind of like a bro code, man code, not really supposed to talk about it, but like go
Mm-hmm.
ahead, like it's people have done that before, maybe not to this level, but you see your man's like say Riva and your significant other is on a date, and I know if I know the dude, I'm just gonna walk up like, oh man, you're that dude from oh man, I'm your biggest fan. Can I have your autograph? And I
Mm-hmm.
know him, but I just want to make him look good,
Mm-hmm.
so
Mm-hmm. Right.
it
Bro
might
code.
be,
Bro
yeah,
code.
like a little bit. So I can kind of see how that may have happened. Um, and the last thing is I was talking to my friend
Mm-hmm.
Chalky. I'm gonna put his name out. Grew up with him in the third grade. We're just talking about, relationships and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's very controversial what he said. And I normally wouldn't say it, but it's crazy. Um, but this is conversations that we had. It's real. It's River
Right.
TV. Um,
It's
none of those
riveting.
buzzwords or anything, but
Mm-hmm.
yes, I was singing the theme song. I'm still waiting for you to eventually release it to Spotify and Apple Music
It's
because
coming.
good. I thought it was. I never doubted it. But he said, because we were just talking about relationships, and he said this, and take it what you will. I didn't
Okay.
say it.
I'm ready. I'm bracing.
He said, and this ties into Will. So I'm gonna tell what he said, and then I'm gonna tie it into Will.
Okay.
He said, some women, not all women,
Mm-hmm.
some women would rather be beaten than bored.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
That's true. That's
Whoa.
not that bad, brother. It's not that
It's
bad.
true. Yeah.
Whoa.
It's like dysfunctional shit.
We thought we was
Whoa.
gonna hear something else, brother.
And yeah, we didn't know what
Right,
was going
right.
on.
No,
We were
I mean,
like, oh
we
no.
seen Baby Boy, right? Remember the guy that was behind the girl in Baby Boy
Mm-hmm.
when she's on
Right.
the phone. Remember
Mm-hmm.
that
Right.
oh yeah,
character?
yeah, yeah.
That's
I'm gonna
Yeah.
it.
drop.
That's
He
it.
was dropping off the the package.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I do
That's
remember that.
okay. And let's attach that to Will now, please.
Okay, so I just came up with this, the will part. So the quote, my boy told me, my man told me, some women would rather be beat than bored. So I put to Will, some men would rather be broken than alone.
Mm.
So take it what you
Especially
will.
if you grow up not thinking you're worth anything. Yeah.
There you go.
Great analysis. Great analysis, sir.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Resident. Resident picked it up.
I used to feel that way.
You used to feel that way, you said.
Hmm.
Mm. Let's
Believe
I
me, I
think
have a lot more in my
we
let's
past
all
park
than.
have.
let's park the car in that driveway
Yeah.
for a second. So yeah, let's just put the car in the driveway for a second. So I think this is an aspect that was definitely necessary. Okay, because as a man, you got to know when to hold them and know when to fold them.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing should become more important to you. I think the most important thing to a man should be, if it's not already, is his self-respect. No, you can't talk to me like that. No, you can't say that to me. No, I don't care about what the dynamics are of this situation. I'd rather be alone than deal with this or deal with me possibly being on the brink um, of losing sanity and peace in a safe space in a place that I would like to call my home. That's a really big situation because we have so many people who are in relationships and are doing the opposite of living in the relationship every single day. And they feel, wow, this one's somewhere very serious, but they feel that they have to because maybe of children, maybe because of their financial situation. It's just cheaper to stay in the same place because it's harder to move around, or because they know for a fact that even though they're not happy, or even though it's a toxic or ill-fitting situation, they know for a fact that that person on the other end of the situation cannot possibly move or be a full a full functioning human adult by themselves. So they do it for them, but they're sacrificing themselves in the process.
Mm-hmm. Dying to themselves every day.
Because we already know, based off of statistics, women leave. If it's you or her, it's her. Like if it's you or me, I'm going. Like that's how women are.
Mm-hmm.
It's very seldom that you'll find women that are gonna, stick it. Women who think like that, who are gonna, push it and try, their men don't really necessarily even have problems with them. We need context, certain situations, maybe sometimes, but more times than not, their men doesn't have a problem because they're so willing to work it out with them.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, babe, let's have a powwow. Let's have a meeting. What's going on? Okay, I feel like this, you feel like this. What can I do better then? And then we want to be mad when we talk about other situations. And listen, let me make a disclaimer. Everybody look at me. Everybody look at Rivah, okay? I'm a Black woman. I can
Mm-hmm.
speak off of Black experience. I can speak off of Black relationships, okay? But I'm not only talking to us, okay? I'm talking to women and I'm talking to men. I'm not one-sided on my conversation. Sometimes we're going to talk about some stuff that only we can talk about because it's our experiences, but I know for a fact that other people have similar experiences and can share in the conversation. Whether they
Yep.
didn't listen to the same music, eat the same food, they know what we're talking about because this is not just a Black woman thing. I want to just start off with that because I know some women of, again, I'm a hairstylist. I know women of a whole bunch of different races, okay, that give their men hell too. But more times than not, with our situations, okay, we're always expecting this, and you better do this, and you know, if you're not getting told that you're not good enough at your job, don't worry about it because she'll do it when you get home. Did somebody make you feel bad today? No? Okay, she has that on her list of things to do. Don't worry about it. She gonna do that. And we make it seem like our men are just additions, like children. Just because you cook, just because you clean, just because you may wash his clothes, he is not your child. Because you know what a child won't do? When somebody comes there and he has to take that protection into his own hands in a matter that we completely understand, not a joke. Do you think that your kids are going to run in front of you? Because most of them are going to run behind you. When he is going to say, you and them go and let me handle this. That's for starters. And number two, I never understood how you can be intimate with somebody and then try to equate them to being your child.
Mm.
Something is wrong with you
Mm-hmm.
if you have that ability to do that. Because there's a very big,
Mm-hmm.
flag waving of saying, hello, that doesn't make any sense. Our men are important. Our men go through mental health issues. Our men go through things, but we have to keep them at the forefront. A lioness is not, okay, a lioness will go out and hunt. And I'm a lioness. Okay. So a lioness will not in all aspects. Okay. Not in all aspects, but I'm just saying, I am I'm prideful of my home, of my house, of my spouse. You know what I'm saying? I honor that. I honor the ability to serve, right? But I'm just going to use this for an example. In a sense, we are like them. As women, we are like lionesses. Maybe we're not the ones that are going out and necessarily hunting, but I just equate the hunting for the food as like cooking the food. Okay. So work with me. Okay. So I'm cooking the food. Okay. And by right, traditionally, me being, my family being from the Caribbean, we share the man's plate first. As a lioness, she gets the food, he eats first. Then, maybe when she's gone to go get more food because she knows she's not going to get none of that food. Because after he eats, the kid's going to nibble on whatever, the cubs are going to nibble on whatever it is that he has, right? She's going to go get more food, as we see in our homes, right? The mom shares for the dad. He sits down. He has something to drink. She shares for the kids, and then she shares for herself. But if he wants some more, she's going to share his food. She's going to share more for them. She's going to maybe, then finish eating for herself, and then she's going to wash everything up. You know why that lioness doesn't question the fact that he has to eat first and she has to go get more? Because at the end of the day, she knows that he is the most important.
Mm.
Because if another lion comes around in that situation, he needs to have the strength to be able to defend them.
Mm-hmm.
And if he's on a hungry belly, because you just ate up the food and the kids just ate up the food, what strength will he have to defend them? That's putting your children's lives in danger because the new lion is not going to accept them.
Oh.
And now you're in a whole different aspect as well. Okay, because now you're under the reins of somebody that you don't even know. We need to have these mindsets. Families got it. I don't understand how people talk about like, oh, relationships back in the day, the women weren't happy. I feel like they were really happy. At least from what I saw. I'm not saying that they didn't have their own problems and drama, but the stuff that ticked people off to make them walk away now, that wasn't a phasing to them. Some of them didn't like each other for years. It wasn't a rough
Much
patch of
happier
like
than
a month
today.
or 2 months and you gotta go sleep on the couch. Sometimes it was like, yeah, we didn't like each other for like 10 years. And you're like, what? 10 years? Like, wasn't until the kids left. We had that patch. I've had these conversations with older women. I'm like, okay, 10 years. Huh. Sounds interesting. Like, yeah, it was bad. It was really bad. Couldn't stand him. But they understood the importance. But a lot of women have traded their man's importance for their own self-importance. Only I'm important. Not even the kids are important anymore. I hear it all the time. F them kids.
Mm-hmm.
F them girls.
Yep.
City girls. F
That's
them
like a
kids.
slogan.
Quick to throw it out.
Slogan. It was like
It's on a
F him.
T-shirt probably somewhere.
Right.
I
F
wouldn't
him.
doubt
F
it.
the kids. It's just you. It's just you. Whatever you want to do, whatever, wind blows that makes you feel good, that's cool. It's sickening. It's really sickening.
Very
Please,
sickening.
please go on, Resident. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off, but
Not. I thought Kurt was actually gonna go next.
I'm ready for Resident.
I don't know where Kirk
Okay.
is.
I'm ready whenever y'all ready or whoever else is at next.
Oh, there's
Alright.
Kirk.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
you want him to go first?
What up, Kurt?
Alright, I'll let him go first.
What's going on, guys?
What's going on? Oh wow, we
What up,
didn't
what
hear you
up?
yesterday.
Oh man, my phone, as I said, is acting up, so I'm just
Oh.
waiting, and I don't want to come on the live and then my phone keep dropping the call, so I'm getting a new one, but I ordered from Samsung, so it's taking a minute, but I'll be back.
Okay.
Good night to everybody on the panel, my resident, River,
Night.
big up to
Good night.
River,
Good night.
Kishan, Edwards, KP, what's up, man?
What's good, Kurt?
I got a
Salute,
lot of
brother.
problem with this wilting, man. Trust me, a lot of
Get it
problems.
out. Get it out. Get it out.
And you know me, I keep it real, man. And I don't think it was genuine. I don't think what he did was genuine, only because he was laughing.
Yep.
You get what I'm saying?
Oh, look at the shirt he's showing, y'all. Look at the shirt he's showing, y'all. He got a
see?
shirt
Yeah, exactly.
with the lady shooting the kid.
Right.
All in.
But what I'm saying is he was laughing in the audience. When he looked at his woman, he see that she said it wasn't funny. So he turned around and now trying to be macho man by going up there and did what he did. But let me say this. Let me say this, because a lot of y'all dudes that are thick, y'all like to size our little skinny dudes up and think that y'all can check us. And I've had that situation before where, I ain't going to talk about it right here because this is not the place for it. But I guarantee you, if it was The Rock, if it was, you get what I'm saying? If it was somebody like Resident, The
Tyson.
Rock, you get what I'm saying? What's that dude from that movie, that racing movie? You know what I mean?
Vin Diesel.
Vin Diesel. I guarantee you, he would have never did that. You get what I'm saying? Because
He got the
he
power of
looked at
family
his
behind
woman. He looked at his woman, and then when he saw that his woman was not seeing it as funny as everybody saw it, he then reacted emotionally. You get what I'm saying? I had a cousin who just he ended up with a couple. He had this crazy relationship with his baby mama. She called the cops. And this dude be like, if his baby mama tell him some dude be talking to her and try to don't leave her alone. Dude went to her workplace, punched a dude glasses out, just acting a fool.
Not the glasses out.
I've been with my wife for 13 years.
Mm.
Listen, River. One of these days I'm gonna bring her on. She look
Yes.
exactly like River. And
Wow.
no dude can ever get me to react that way. Never.
Why not?
For what?
Exactly.
This is what I'm saying. I'm at a certain standard, and Will should know better, man. Will should know better. That's some Pookie and Ray mentality. Like you drag me down back to a certain level. Like Edward, I'm not going there with you. You get what I'm
Yeah.
saying? It would have been cool if you be like, man, bro, like, man, I know you're a comedian, and then the dude is a comedian. Like Michael Blackson did that crap to another guy. They roast people all the time.
Yeah. They
Look at him,
do.
my man. If y'all follow, DL Yugi, is it DL, right? DL will roast his whole entire audience sometime. He'll pick on people in the crowd
Yeah.
and mess with them.
That's
You
what
get
they
what I'm
do.
saying?
Mhm.
And you don't see DL end up with certain things happen to him because people know it's all. And if you can't take a joke, be like, be a man about it. Like, you know what, man? I, you know, I didn't like that, bro. And you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And then this is the first, and then you go around them white, and you go. You want me to go there, River? You go around them 1%ers, and they see you. They're like, man, we bring them to Hollywood, man, but we really can't take the hood out of these dudes.
Sad.
You
Because it's
talking
true.
about a event where the world is watching, and we're not talking about some high school stuff. Like we don't see the video come out. We're seeing this thing in real time.
Because this was not okay. Remember back, this wasn't the Source Awards. The Source Awards, you can just like watch the clock and be like, oh, what? Oh, fight gonna break out soon. Don't worry about it. They about to cut the show off. We about to pan to commercial. You can, the BET Hip Hop Awards. It was like,
Hmm.
hold up, what'd he say? Why'd he say that in his acceptance speech? Okay, they about to start fighting. We can accept it, but the Oscars,
Right. These show of all places.
like the Grammys, it's like no.
Right. I remember years ago, like you just brought up a good point. Remember that y'all probably remember that East Coast West Coast war with
Mhm.
Biggie and Tupac. Remember
Yeah,
when
yeah.
they were going to pick up when they go in on stage and they were like,
Yep.
"Y'all dudes over here, man, and we winning this, man." And
Yep.
Shook was like, "Y'all dudes want to make money, come over here, bro." And you get what I'm saying? Like
Yes.
people used to just show words, but it never go anywhere to the point where dudes was outside waiting with 15 guns. Like I don't know why, and I see
And some,
well
I think sometimes it did. Sometimes it
It
went a little
did.
off.
it did, it did, but not to the extent where we were seeing it in real time.
Mm-mm.
No, they weren't gonna allow it back then.
You get what I'm saying?
They weren't gonna make it on TV.
Now they're like, hey, look at these fools.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and 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 for guys who are like Will, because I know I got guys right now who are my friends.
Mhm.
I just keep them there. Listen, their number is on the bottom of my list of people to call because they're women.
Good job.
They're women. Listen, my good friend. I had a good friend. His woman he used to act like that, and now they divorced. And this dude finally come to his senses. Like I don't care. Like call to her if you want. Listen, say hi. Makes me feel good that I have something nice that you want that you ain't gonna get. But I ain't gonna turn around and be like, "What do you say, bro? Man, Kishan for what? For what?" And I'm not an ugly dude, man. If she give you the time of the day, man, and she want to check out with me, then
But
fine.
see, that's what, like my man would be like, you want her number? You want me to give it to you? Like,
Yeah, yeah.
because if she goes, that means
That's it.
She made a choice. That's it.
She
You
made
made
a
it
it's
clean.
not what it
Point
is.
blank period.
You
And
know?
then another thing is, let's take a look at our past.
Mhm.
Everybody have a flaw. That's why, listen, you see those people in Hollywood? Let me tell y'all something. Because I like to go in on y'all Instagram people, right? Y'all little Instagram followers that like to think that y'all know what's going on. All of these people lifestyle is an illusion compared to what they're really living. Y'all need to stop following them. We keep telling y'all that. People who
true.
have money and people who have their structure together, they don't act like that. Y'all
They
keep
don't have
talking
time.
about y'all want to wear these clothes and drive these cars, and y'all working at Walmart trying to be like these people. Y'all better cut it out. You get what I'm saying? And try to be like me and Edward and them, everybody on the panel, and humble yourself.
There you go.
You get what I'm saying? Because I'm going to tell you this. All these celebrities that y'all see, they cry at night. They have depression. They have all these type of sickness that y'all don't even know. And I'm not trying to say that. I mean, look at these people are multi-millionaire. Man, right now I've been in France drinking tequila, getting my toe finished. Like these people are jumping off precipice. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
Because
No, but
they're unhappy.
who said it? Who said it best than an interview from our very own Jamaica's very own Bob Marley? When the guy asked him, "Are you rich?" and he was like, "Do possessions make you rich?"
Does possession make me rich? What is richness?
Exactly.
What is richness? Because
It's true.
richness is knowledge, wisdom and knowledge. That's why Solomon was a rich man. Y'all want to be rich? Try to be like Solomon. That's why he got so much women. Like some of these dudes. No, for real, because we're going to keep it real, because some of these dudes out here running down these girls, buying a bunch of LCAT, but you're broke. Get a business, get an LLC business, and then they chase you down. Listen, Edward, I ain't got to say anything when I roll out in my M5. I ain't got to say crap to them. They like, what kind of job you do, bro? Y'all, you get what I'm saying? And a bunch of these dudes who function like that, resident, are the dudes that are not even on our level. They're masculine, but they're weak mentally. So you run by an LCAT and you got a little shorty, and a dude says something to her, yo, what's up, bro? Yo, because you got that hood in you. You ain't got no real structure. You ain't got no, you are a liability all the way around, even to yourself.
And I want to say, I'm going to say this very politically correct, because Kirk be bringing out the Jamaican in me. Okay,
Go ahead, go off.
Kirk
It's
be
yours.
igniting certain conversations that I want to say, and I'm like, okay, remember, Rivah, keep it cool. But I think that's also a representation of men who don't even like really got it like that. Because these guys that hop out the car, they have the car, they have the jewelry, they have the this, they have the hot girl that they paid for her nails, they paid for her hair and all that kind of stuff. But at the same time, you're just a little bit timid because you don't have the right intimate currency.
Oh.
Get in that bag, Rivah. Get in that bag.
let me tell you the name I give them. Let me tell you the name. Can I tell you the name? Can I tell you the name?
Sure.
On my channel, I call them Sweet Candy Lollipop.
We call them wet noodle. I'm from.
Sweet. Listen.
Not the shame.
Listen, I call them Sweet Candy Lollipop. You know why I call them Sweet Candy Lollipop? Because they don't have any structure. Everything they have is sweet for a moment. You get what I'm saying? Real guys with money, we don't impress women. That's why Kevin Samuel got a damn problem with women over there, because they think we're gonna come around and impress you.
But the
no,
thing
we
is,
don't.
I think it's even higher than the money, though.
No, it's a full program.
It's
a full program.
Because a man can have a vision, a plan, and a energy that says, "I am king. Hear me roar." And he may have the vision and the plan. Maybe he didn't even make it come to fruition yet. But with him, she's not going to play with him. But with you work at the bank. You're a nice guy. You're providing all of these things. You have the finances, all this kind of stuff, and you still have to argue with her. You still have to fight with her. You still have to be, grabbing her arm. Babe, you all right? You okay? You okay? You good? You good? When a man walks by.
I hate that.
And it's like,
full program.
What? But see,
program,
let me say this, and then I'm gonna let somebody else jump in. But let me say this: our culture need to be educated on all different levels. And when I say, man, listen, I preach this all the time, man. It's 2022, guys. we are more advanced in the world than any other culture before us, any other past generation before us. Why are we still stuck? Why are
In the
we
same
still
spot.
what?
And I wanna say something to that, Kirk. You see, he be getting me going. Because we're the most technologically advanced, but I think we're the most dumb.
We
Mm.
regressed.
Because
We
a lot of
regressed.
people from before had the
Uh,
brain power.
We
Right.
regressed. We
We could
regressed.
be
Hey,
like
you know
20
what we
seconds
had
on
growing up?
TikTok. I'm
Yeah.
bored. 20 seconds on TikTok. I'm bored. I don't like this. No,
mhm,
no, no, no. Oh, they're eating that for dinner. I'm gonna go buy that.
Y'all
Like,
know what we
mhm.
had growing up though? That we had to do? We had to open that encyclopedia.
Yep.
They
Sure
got
did.
Thank
Google.
you.
Sure
They
Oh
did.
got
man.
Google.
what's a
Fingertip.
synonym for?
It's over.
I
It's
Fingertip.
mean,
over.
we are technically a product of the problems we were able to solve and
Solve.
overcome.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So, with
Mhm.
Yep.
everything being
And we
so
regressed.
technically, advanced and easy, you
Mhm.
know, everything
And when
that's
you
not
remove
easy is
struggle,
just an inconvenience.
when you remove that struggle, that's the part that hurts the worst. You
Yep.
remove that struggle.
Mhm.
That's why I think like
The
even
struggle was
even
removed. We're so
even
far away from the struggle that our parents and our grandparents even had.
no, but that's why I think that like even when I hear we're gonna talk about a lot of things. We're gonna talk about a lot of things here on this channel, and I told you guys I have something big coming for you guys, so you guys are definitely going to get way more in depth with me and in deeper conversations as well. But that's why like whenever I hear people say like people from other countries, which I don't even think it's other countries, because I know some people who grew up in like certain spaces here in like more rural, like country southern areas. I would say that they kind of had to do things for themselves. But that's the thing that I think makes it different from these big land masses like like UK, America, foreign, right? Than
Mhm.
other countries, other people who had lived in like the island life or separate countries, because of the way that they had to get it going. Like the women are washing clothes with their hands. So what is me throwing the clothes in the washer here? They're like, "Oh, that's easy." Like I'm going and I'm cutting up everything. I'm cooking however, I'm doing all these kind of things like from scratch. Here we more see people like get pre-made stuff, or like, oh yeah, let me just bust these cans open real quick and make something. And it's like, no, like when you have to go through the root and you've seen it done from the root,
Mhm.
you're able to have a maneuver. Like right now, if something were to go down, right, and all the power go out in maybe Kirk's house,
Mhm.
he gonna be all right. Okay, he gonna figure it out. It's not gonna be, you know what I'm saying? But a lot of us who are more privileged, just like we're talking about when it comes to technology, it's the same thing. Just like people who are more privileged, who have no idea like how to do things on their own or how to do things from scratch or whatever the case is, the power goes out and they're like, oh my gosh, my phone.
Mhm.
Oh, how will I figure this out? Oh, how am I gonna take a shower? It's like with a bucket. Like it's okay. It does the same thing. You can figure this
Right.
out. It's the same exact thing. Same exact thing. It's sad. It's sad because we have the like resident said, like we created these things so that we can live better,
So
right? To have
just
better opportunities, better lifestyles, but then it becomes like we put the car in reverse and drive backwards when it comes to common sense, common knowledge, logical thinking. It's sad. Um
Agree.
I'm gonna be jumping on a conference call with a driver, with a couple of my drivers, and
uh-huh.
but I just want to say, man, we gotta change our mindset, and I, guys, stop beat up men for. There's a lot of guys been murdered and guys who've been in
Yep.
prison because of the same
Yep.
thing. Like it doesn't worth it.
Mhm.
You knock down a guy, go to prison for 5, 10 years. She go get a new boyfriend. Like y'all got to just invest better. That's why I keep
Mhm.
telling y'all
Faith
that look at
Evans.
people
Faith Evans,
character.
Biggie Smalls.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's why I said
Faith
that.
Evans is with the guy that used to produce his records.
Sure did.
Right, right. But you get what I'm saying? Like we gotta
Mhm.
stop. We gotta stop. Do that. And I'm not saying don't protect your woman. It's like me looking at the Constitution the wrong way. Somebody call me a name, I use my tool. Or you get what I'm saying? Like
Right,
we
right,
gotta
right.
stop that. And I'm gonna say this. I guarantee you, if it was Vin Diesel, The Rock, or somebody else like Resident, he would have checked himself before he go up on that stage, because he would have known it would have been a beatdown. It would have been a beatdown. But y'all see us little small dudes, and y'all just run up on us. And I'm telling you, some small dude, like, we ain't gonna take that. But
Yeah.
Not at all.
me
Not at
and
And
all.
I'm
Edward is
sad,
gonna
and
take that.
I'm
I
sad
got
that people
something
try
for
to
you. Go ahead.
I'm sad that people try to make it seem like, oh yeah, he's he just knew who to pick. No, he just lucky that it was Chris Rock, because Chris Rock was
Right,
being professional.
right,
Chris Rock didn't have to win. It didn't mean he couldn't have punched him back. It didn't mean he
right,
had to win the fight. It didn't mean he
right.
couldn't start one though.
Exactly.
He could have.
But I just want to jump on real quick, man. As I said, I want to thank you again, and just keep pushing, man. And all you guys out there, man, I keep telling you, stop beat up these girls. Stop beat guys for your girl, because it's crazy.
She'll
But
go
we
help
gotta
a
get
guy
to
and
that.
leave you.
Yeah, you know, and you call to my wife if she wanna.
Whatever.
Listen,
Exactly.
I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. It is crazy, because after a while, you know how many guys called to my wife that we at the mall, she's buying ice cream. She went I'm at one section of the mall, she getting some to eat. I went over there, guy trying to get her number. I don't care. She's coming home with Kirky Fresh. I don't care.
There you go.
Fresh.
You get
For the
what I'm
whole
saying?
week.
Oh, Kirky Fresh.
Yeah. It's crazy. But I'm not gonna fight Resident for my wife. For what?
Right. That's why she's called your wife.
Yeah.
Oh my
Exactly.
I'm not
god.
I know it sounds silly, but come on, man.
I feel like you
I'm
guys
I'm
think
not
I'm like 6 foot something.
yeah, I'm not a bad looking guy. So hey,
He's like, hey, there'll be another one.
yeah, you know, you know, but we got to structure ourselves better than that, and we have to hold up the community. And that's why when I come in here, I always drag the community in and say we got to do better as a community. It's not just start with one person as a celebrity, but we in the neighborhood have to teach each other to be on a certain level. This is why I push business so much on my channel,
Mhm.
because we are in that gutter mindset, that gutter trend, that look at me, cuz, hey, cuz, check me out, cuz, and get some business, get an LLC. The average black man in this country, there are so many pretension for you guys to make money, but
Mhm.
because y'all don't want to spend the time and effort and invest in yourself. I came here in
Can I say
2003.
something real quick to that?
Yeah,
It's the money that y'all buying Jordans with. It takes less money than that to start the LLC.
$125. $125, and the EIN number is free. Uh-oh. 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 I own River, I own a trucking company. I came here when I was 28. I'm 43. I already see what $1 million look like.
Mhm.
I'm not bragging. And she can tell you I'm a Jamaican. I
Yeah,
never
right.
waste a minute in this country. And trust me,
Right.
I'm Jamaican. I could have taken the hustling route. I got a lot of hustlers that I know.
Mhm.
You
But
get what I'm
see,
saying? I know them from Cali to New York to Florida. You get what I'm saying? Like, you
no,
get
you
what I'm
don't, Kirk.
saying?
Kirk, you don't know them at all.
So we gotta just build our community up and take care of our family, man, and just cut this nonsense out. And what we think is priority in the community, it's not. That's why I always tell people on my channel, what I can afford to do, I don't do it. But the things that you guys can't afford to do,
You're
y'all
doing it.
doing it. I don't get it.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
And
But
I think this is a great aspect of the conversation as well, Kirk. I know you have to run, but this is a good aspect as well, because people who have more to lose will make more logical decisions instead of just getting into frivolous altercations because they know how hard they work for something.
that's
And
like
why you
me.
will.
Me and my wife been to 13 years. That's
Well,
like me. That's like me going out and having extra babies, knowing that she going when we go through the process of a divorce, I'ma lose maybe everything or a fraction of what I own. Like we gotta make better decision. We gotta do that. And like my man Kishan says, stop by them $400 Jordan and go get your LLC. Go start a go start a podcast. Go do something. YouTube pay you if you have over 1,000 subscriber and 40 hours of views. Start there. It's free. Like I don't get it.
But I want to say something too.
You know,
I want to say something else as well, right? Because everybody can't do everything, right? You can have a passion and a dream for so many different things, and it's also about I do believe that we have the ability to control our destinies. I do believe that, but I think that what drives you, there's a certain thing in everyone, and sometimes the way that it's displayed is not exactly how you might have thought, but you're like, oh yeah, this was always connected to my purpose. This was always connected to the thing that I'm supposed to do. But there's always going to be a space that sometimes you're going to have to work a job. Okay. Maybe you're not in the space to get an LLC. Maybe you don't know what business you want to open, but you do have to be able to give it all that you got and make the best out of every opportunity that comes to you to see greater. Because if you're not faithful over little, how can you be ruler over much? If you're making $500 a week and you cannot save any money, you're not making intelligent decisions, you're out there buying frivolous things, how are you going to behave or maneuver when you're making $1,000 a week, $2,000, $5,000, $10,000 a week? Okay. And it might sound crazy, but for some people that doesn't sound like a crazy amount. But I'm just saying, like, sometimes it's about you just not being so quick, because this generation is so quick to be like, man, F them, F them kids, F the wife, and F this job. Like, no, you've been at this company for 3 years. Okay. I understand you're seeing other people go to Dubai and you're seeing stay in your lane. Focus on what it is. Maybe this is building you and preparing you for what it is that you're going to be doing. Don't you have to trust the process. You have to trust the process. You can't try to skip steps to try to catch up to be with somebody else. And I'm saying that because there's people who might be listening to Kirk and be like, oh yeah, you know what? F this job. Let me go ahead and get my LL. It's like, but what business? Is it good ground? Is it something that's going to make you more financially stable? Is it oversaturated? Is it undersaturated? Is it a good niche for you? Or do you love it enough that you're going to be able to be passionate enough to keep it going, even though sometimes when you start a business, the money is not flowing in as rapidly as you would like it to? And that's what Kirk said in the beginning of this conversation. Stop trying to keep up with the Joneses because they don't exist. You trying to keep up with the Joneses and live in the neighborhood that they live in, and when you get to their house, they don't have no furniture. You're like, dang, I put myself through all this debt to try to be like these people. They ain't even got no couch.
Right.
Oh, they're paying all their bills, even credit card bills, with other credit cards. Oh, but they live in lavish and they taking trips, and they make me feel like I'm inadequate because of what I do. I got myself a nice little space. But guess what? You're richer than they are in happiness. You're not trying to keep up with nobody. You're doing your own thing. So when you flourish, that's you flourishing, not you trying to perpetrate. Because whenever somebody does something trying to be like somebody else, or whenever somebody does something trying to mock somebody else or trying to imitate somebody else, it never works out. Just being real. It is always like, it's like a firework. It's like, woo, where it go?
I mean, but people don't know the amount of hours that people put in to get to that one particular spot.
Tell the truth.
People have no idea.
Talk the truth.
I speak 8 languages, and it took me 10 years to get to this one spot. To have, and people think like, oh, I could learn it in 3 months.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, okay.
They want it right. They want it right now.
As a language teacher, Zeus, thank you for that.
And that's another thing. You did it, and you took your time, and people have to say that, right? Like, people also have to be in that competition mindset. Oh no, Zeus, you tripping, because I could do that in 5 months and be right where you are. And you're like, did I ask you that? Did I even ask you that?
I mean, even with my business that I have here, people are like, oh, I wish I could do that. I'm like, dude, I spent more than 10,000 hours. I've been working at this shit since I was 17. More than 10,000 hours. It takes like 100. It takes your whole
Right.
life.
Right.
And I want to interject real quick. What
Sure.
Zeus says, it took me over 10 years to build my company to where I'm at.
10 years.
10 years. And I have the credit line. We talk about this in previous. I never thought that I would have credit line could buy a truck for $100,000.
Right.
I never thought that. You get what I'm saying? So when we're saying these things to the community, you have to believe in yourself.
Yeah.
I can hire you as a driver today and lease you on one of my truck and give you the best pay you can ever give a driver. But if you don't have that mindset and that structure and that discipline and that ability to go, then what I'll be doing to you is a waste of time. So we gotta start up here before you can start do the physical stuff. We work out
Starts
more.
here.
Yeah, we work out more in our physical stuff, doing the wrong thing. We go in our club, drinking liquor. We racing Hellcats. We hanging out with shorties. We're doing all this stuff, but then we go on Instagram and want to be like some dude that got, 10
He's
jets and
scamming. He's
5
scamming. He's
Lamborghini.
scamming. He's scamming.
It's
You
crazy.
want to be like some guy that's spending other people's money and
Right,
flossing because it's not his money.
right. You get what I'm saying? I don't get it. But it takes time and it takes discipline. I was talking to one of my driver and he's in debt $30,000. And he asked me, he said, how can I get out of debt? I said, you got to discipline yourself. $1,500 a week, $6,000 a month, $72,000 a year. That's how you're going to get out of debt. He's like, oh man, I never look at it like that because you're hanging out with the wrong guys.
We need to. We have to
You get
circle
what I'm
this.
saying?
We have to circle this conversation back because
But
I wanna definitely talk about all aspects. Go ahead, Zeus.
I have something pertaining to the actual topic of the day, if that's
Okay.
okay.
Yes. But I definitely. Yeah. But I have your email, Kirk. Okay, Zeus.
I'm gonna run, okay? Sorry,
Okay.
because I
Okay.
gotta go on a conference call with these guys. But thank you guys,
All
man,
right,
and I
Kirk.
really
Of course.
appreciate it.
Of course. Always
Big up
good to see you.
big up to you guys,
Peace to
Resident,
you.
Zeus, River. You know what I mean? But yeah,
Always.
man,
Take it
I
easy.
really appreciate it. All right,
Bless.
Thank you,
all right,
Kirk.
thanks.
All right.
Kirk is my brother. I love
Um,
Kirk. He's so funny.
I
I
had
love
a
it. I
conversation.
love these kind of again edifying conversations. I love them so much. Okay, Zeus, come on. We're gonna
All
bring
right.
it. We're gonna bring it in with Zeus, Resident, have some dialogue. Okay, come on, Zeus.
I had a conversation with my father actually about this whole ordeal.
Oh, okay.
And similar things happen in Mexico all the time, but no one really cares because it's not as popular. But like people actually die because of things like this. And he was like, I wonder how this is gonna trickle down into the community, and I wonder if people are gonna get hurt over something like this. I wonder what it's like showing people that it's okay just to smack somebody just because your feelings get hurt.
Feelings.
And then like talking like a king, but don't kings have like a gesture and like people to handle things for them? Just saying, like it just doesn't make sense.
You're not gonna see no. You're not gonna see no king in a tussle.
Never.
Because you can't even touch him.
Nope.
You can't even touch him, and that's why. See, I love these conversations. I always your vibe attracts your tribe. I say this all the time, and I love my tribe. Okay, because
We love you too.
that is so, and that's what I'm saying, and that's where I come in as the feminine energy, and I'm saying, if you're a queen and you see your man as a king, you're like, I don't even want nobody touching you. I don't even want the risk of somebody's lint from their clothes to get on your suit because you're here for your award. So let me just go sit here in my queenly character, and we're gonna talk about this after. And I'm not gonna put anybody on a pedestal, right? I'm not gonna call anybody's name and act like they're above this because we definitely can't do that because it's 2022. Anything's possible. But I wouldn't see. But you definitely wouldn't. Would it? I just want to use this beautiful black woman as an example. When Kanye went up there and snatched the mic from Taylor, when they panned to Beyonce, what was she doing? She was mortified. She was
Yes,
like,
she was.
no, Kanye, no, please. And then went up there and made the situation right, even though she herself understood why he was advocating for her. We got a post, we got a copied post on her Instagram about like, this is a time of healing. That's all we got from her. That's it.
What is it? I have had similar things happen in my personal life. I would try not to get into it so much.
Mm-hmm.
I am the biggest person where I live by far,
Mm-hmm.
So everyone kind of looks at me as like, oh, if anything happens, that's the guy,
Right.
Yeah, that's the guy, right? So like, I don't know, on the train or something, someone bumps into my lady. She just looks at me, just goes back to normal. Like there's no violence here, so it's really hard for me to even talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
So like,
right.
it's just so random. Like I can imagine if that were to happen any other country in the world.
Let that happen in New York.
I mean, any other country in the world, they'd be blackballed, they get their visa taken away, they get thrown out of the country, thrown in jail.
Right. Oh, right. You're saying the situation with Will and Chris, if he ever did that somewhere else that's more strict, they would be like,
Yeah.
oh no. Oh no,
Oh yeah.
no.
Any other
Right.
place, Chicago, anywhere, left and
Right.
cut.
It's so sad. It's so sad. Somebody said, I love this comment. Somebody said, you're the Superman in your area. Oh, I like that. I like that comment.
I'm like a foot taller than everyone. It's annoying.
But it's true, in other places that are more strict, they definitely wouldn't be going for that. Not even in the least. Let that happen in like Amsterdam or something. It's over. They're like, we don't care who you are and what your name is. We're gonna lock you up because that was assault. We don't need him to press charges because we saw it. We were there. There.
Here in Hong Kong and in Singapore, there's a no self-defense law here as well. You can't even defend yourself. If you hit somebody at all, both of you go to jail. That's it.
Even if they hit you.
That's too bad. You shouldn't have got yourself in that situation.
Why did they hit you?
Like you could have been a bigger man. You have feet, right? You could run away.
Wow. That's too bad. Why did you get yourself in that situation? But that's also because the crime is so low there too.
Yeah. Yeah, but like, so when I was speaking with my father, he's like, why is it that in our communities it's okay? It's like everyone else is fine. Why is it that all the brown people always got to fight with each other?
Well,
What
I'll
the
say
hell's
this.
going on?
I'll say this to it. We're some of the only people, and I think this is kind of where Resonance was getting at, but we didn't really flesh it out. We're the only people that feel like, some of us feel like we're not a man, so we got to prove it. No one's. This is where manhood comes from.
That's a very good point.
Exactly.
That's a very good point, Edward, because your mama, either your mom emasculated you or your dad did, or both. Or he wasn't there and you look like him and so she emasculated you for that. Or the people around you or whoever raised you, your aunties and your uncles and your cousins and them, right? Or they tell you what you're not so much. So you do kind of have a battle, with that situation. And it's not to say that other people don't tussle. Listen, we know. This comment that Simone be left on screen, listen, we see it all the time, honey. We see it all the time, but will we see it at the Oscars? More likely than not, no, because we've never seen it thus far.
No.
I mean, we could get into like the actual statistics as well. It's real. It's really there. Like we do fight more than others. Why? Like, I mean,
let's do a test. Let's all step on different races' shoes, and let's see who's getting the scrapping first. Accidentally.
I remember when I was young, right? Because it's not just our many as well. But I remember when I was young and I went to some kind of like little teeny bopper club, whatever. And like I like literally like could not. I was trying to look for my friend and I literally like could not see, right? Like I just could not see where I was going. 'Cause I wasn't paying attention. And I accidentally stepped on this girl's shoe. This girl's shoe. And I'm like, "Oh, sorry." And they were like ready for the fade. And I'm like, whoa. I could not see it's dark in here. Like it was an accident. Like, but I can only imagine that that's like the kind of like environment of like, oh yeah, that's a big disrespect. We don't even care if it's an accident. We don't allow any mistakes because we have so much pent up aggression. We just want to let it out on anybody. So finally, you gave me that opportunity. It's horrible.
And I feel it as a black man. I do feel extra when it's a brown man or a black man than it is. We always use the example, or I use the example. We have people like Zimmerman, people who blatantly, they did something bad, but all these gangsters, they're so gangster, online, offline. I'm not saying that you should touch anybody, but if you're pressing people, why don't you press them? And I wanted to say the last thing before, DL Hughley, as old as he is, I remember seeing him on an interview. So why am I calling him old? Because he was, I think it was Good Morning America, and it's kind of where I thought Resident was going before, and I keep touching it, but he was sobbing on the interview because he said he got to talking and he was like, he was talking about a moment in his life, and he was in third grade and he got an A on his paper. So his teacher gave him an apple and he couldn't wait to go home. So he started rushing home. Mom, I got an apple. He said his mom looked at it and said, "This apple is rotten just like you are." And he's an old man still crying about that. So, I mean,
Some of it's from the
it,
mommies.
so a
A
lot of
lot of
us
it
had
is.
that story. Mhm.
A lot of it is. A lot of it is. And it's also because the stress of the relationship where I can't talk to him in this way because I know that's not possible. So all of my aggression, pain, and stress, I'm going to just put on you, the child, because you're the only one in the home that I can control. I can't control him. So let me just put all that on you. And it's obviously not every single situation, but it is many people, that go through these situations. Um, and again, I want to read this comment. It says, white folks fight too. They just don't have to bear the weight of their entire community when one of them makes a mistake. And I mean, I think everybody fights. It's definitely not a race thing. It's definitely not like only some people fight and some people don't. I mean, let's go to a hockey game. Okay, the fans. Let's go to a baseball game, football game. Based off of who's winning, who's losing. Some expletives, fly in the air, and it's over. It's definitely not that. But I think we just have this like vengeance against one another that is prevalent. It's definitely prevalent when we can see some women who come on and have these kind of topics or have these kind of conversations, and we see like her comment sections. It's like, oh yeah, like I never thought of it. I'm just gonna use my voice.
We understand.
Oh yeah, like I never even thought of it that way. Like this is so true. Like I was thinking that I was doing everything right and maybe I wasn't. And ours is like, you pick me, mammy. Want to be picked, 304. Completely different. I'm not saying that that's everybody, but I'm saying the majority is going to be like, oh, you pick me, mammy. Want to be the best because you're looking at me as the competition. Where the other person is just looking at that person, it's like, oh wow, that person gives sound advice. That's great. Let's just take what we can and what we don't need. We just won't use it.
Exactly.
In every aspect. And I also want to say, I think that a lot of this is going so off out of bounds, but I think a lot of other people raise their families with love. And I think a lot of us are raised with stress
And fear.
and
Yeah,
fear.
exactly.
Fear.
Exactly.
Fear over respect for sure.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think it's more expectation. The fear and everything else comes afterwards because we start not feeling that we're living up to it. Um, like all right, there's all right. I'm gonna go back to the whole topic where it says protect our women.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
now I used to believe
Good,
that.
good, good. You're
Okay,
bringing it full circle. Thank you.
Thank you,
Okay.
all right.
because
I used to be believe that because, like, like I grew up with a single mom. I, had a lot of female strong women role models and stuff like that. So uh, women couldn't really do anything wrong.
Mm,
Uh, but the thing is, after a while, like there was something that it used to always fight at me, and I used to think like wonder what the heck it was. But like growing up, you see a lot of guys that they're fighting over their girls that people cheat or whatever. People are
mm-hmm.
like blaming the other person, not blaming the one that they're with, and all that type of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I started to see that as I got older, with a lot of different women that are coming by, a lot of people, we just don't have any more attachment. Um, Women go from guy to guy to guy to guy, and they get into another relationship thinking that this one is just a matter of time before it ends. Same thing with the guy. So for a woman to be like, oh well, yeah, you should go out and fight for my honor or whatever. You should prove that I'm special or whatever. It's because they have no attachment to that person. You know
Right.
what they're not attached to him, to the fact that, oh well, so what if he's lost? So what if the guy hurts somebody or gets hurt himself? So what if he goes to jail? Oh well, just go to the next guy afterwards. he wasn't
That's a
he
good
wasn't
point.
man enough. He didn't survive the test.
That's a good
So
point.
that's just what it is.
That's a really good point.
The
Mhm.
thing that got me in watching a lot of stuff, I was watching Mr. Logic, and there was one point where I was kind of taken back, and he called the black culture a trash culture, and I
Who?
was like,
Who?
Mr. Logic.
I remember that.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, I know
So
who
I
Okay,
you're
was
talking
okay.
about.
like, hold up, like I got a little defensive, but
Wait, pause for 1 second. Let me
mhm,
read this comment and we're gonna have to talk about that. Okay.
mhm,
Torenzo Jones, thank you so much for the super chat. It says violence comes from and should be pinned on the people who psychologically engineered it. Correct. It's not psychologically engineered by every race, from a retired vet who's been there, done that, and still alive. I'm gonna leave this here to just marinate
Hmm.
so that people who are coming in can continue to read it, because this is a very good point. Because I don't want to go too deep in that. I'm just gonna let me just leave that there. Okay. Those who get it, get it. Those who don't. So he called black culture
mhm.
trash. What's black culture?
Yeah, he
Is a
basically
That's
said
question.
that's what
no.
the
He
argument
just he just
was.
called in general like the black culture like trash or whatever.
But I
And
would need more context. Like, what is the black culture? What
well,
does that entail?
my thing is this. I took it as this. All
Mm-hmm.
right. Um, if you take us and you separate us from Africa, from all these different things, you just put us in this one little box
Mm-hmm.
as Black Americans. Okay, people who were taken, put here, and had to develop their culture within that box.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we literally had to build our culture from the trash of others.
Hmm.
We took everything that was throwaway and we made it into something, okay, in order to survive, but we made it our own. Like you can say to
In what aspect?
I'm getting there. Like I'm just saying, like when it comes to like our foods and things like that, if you talk about soul food and stuff like that, none of it is really like healthy. Like you talk about chitlins and all types of things like that. It's like stuff that people used to throw away. but we made it into something great, and that was our own. And now people selling it on in places for as delicacies. We took culture, like living in like the hood and things like that, and we made it into the rap culture. We made the blues, we made jazz,
Hmm.
everything that we did, we took from what we had that was nothing, and we made it into something. That's
I
why
want
a
to
lot.
I want to pause you for a second. I want to say I look at it as everything that we touch can turn to gold.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, we
That's what
can
I'm
make
saying.
lemonade out of lemons, but I also want to say that when people came here, right? When they were the people who they didn't learn to cook
Hmm.
from the owners here. Those people did not know how to cook.
Exactly.
The people who worked for them cooked.
Exactly.
And if you look to Africa now, you don't even I love what I love about technology now is the fact that people can actually see Africa for what it really is and not for what people sold us, people
Mhm.
swinging in on vines and stuff like that. Like we really, did not know. We were unaware. When you look at the foods that they eat, it's very similar all
Mhm.
over. You can go
Mhm.
to every country, You can go to Jamaica, Dominican Republic, Cuba, Puerto Rico,
Haiti.
Haiti,
Mhm.
and then look at foods from like the South, and
Mhm.
it's very similar
Very.
cuisine.
Hmm.
It might be, I always say the seasoning might be a little different. The pairing might be a little different. In Jamaica we use callaloo. In America they use greens, collard greens, but it's still like a leafy green that they chop up and season it real good and eat, we eat it with something else.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
I think that the seasonings are different, but it's definitely all from us. The way of the people who are actually already here, the true American culture, if we want to be really honest, they ate like the Aztecs.
Hmm. The thing.
Mexico was here. It's not like it's far away. This is attached to the same space. I feel like
Mhm.
seeing that native culture can kind of draw a little bit of insight as to how it was here prior to anything. So when it comes to that whole thing of like America, coming here and try to cultivate a culture, everyone did that because Italians came here, way back when from 19 whenever. The Jewish people came here, Polish people, Indian people, Asian people. A lot of people came here. Now the come here might have been different for some, and also we cannot forget the fact that there was black people in America before slavery because black people voyaged too.
I just I'm just trying to go back to like
No, but I want to just because this is my
yeah,
channel. So
I
I
know.
want to, we can all have our thoughts and opinions, but I have to state my claim on what I feel based off of what you said.
Mhm.
So that's why I'm sticking right here because I want to make it clear that we have more. I have a different feeling as to what you just said. So, but because that's a big claim. Black
Mhm.
culture is trash. So that's why I say I would need more context. Maybe I'm gonna have to hit him up and ask him so we can have that kind of conversation. But that's why I'm going so hard and explaining that because I would have to know what black culture means. You know what I mean? Like what in what aspect? Are we talking about like being a city girl, hot girl summers? Are we talking about women calling girl other women the B word? Are we talking about how we exalt other people higher than ourselves?
Mhm.
Like what is black culture? What is the culture?
I
Because are we talking
just
about black people? Like what are we talking about?
Right.
I
Right.
just feel like we're supposed to take basically we have that pressure on us to take whatever little we have and to
Mhm.
turn it into success. And that's what it is. It's like we were able to do all this stuff with so little. Okay, and now it's like, oh well, like all these women, they're like, oh, I need this guy to have six figures, 666, all that other stuff. Okay, so just for them to even have us in the same, like in the realm of even picking us. Okay,
Mhm.
Mhm.
so I think what it is just that there's so much pressure on the black community because we have to work twice as hard, for half as much, you know,
Mm.
and it's like all that pressure is built upon, like, is we don't even give our own self a break, okay? Because
Mhm.
from black men, we're expecting the women to be top, and then from the women themselves, they're expecting us to be the 1%, you
Mm.
know? So it's like that cycle just keeps on rotating, and it's just like we don't actually try to encourage ourselves. We just sit there, keep on self-destructing ourselves because we have so much of this, like expectation that every black man, woman always understand that from birth we always have to be the one that has to be twice as good as everyone else
Mm-hmm.
to get half as much. And
Because
we
we're
have
in a
and,
place that's not set up for us.
and we're not. Be-
And
That's
we have
why.
to.
and that's what
Yep.
it is. We don't have that. But the thing is, we're not. A lot of the majority of people don't see it that way. They just think, oh well, this is America. This is the land of opportunity. We have all this stuff. We can get it. It's not like that. Not everybody can be a CEO. Not everybody can be the top 1%. Like logistically, that can't happen. Okay, so it's my thing is just like I already know the position I'm in. Okay, I'm an
Mhm.
average guy. I work an average job. I am probably below average height. You guys probably think I'm like 6 foot something. I'm 5'7". Okay, like I'm not.
Everyone's taller than me. I'm
So
5'2", so
so
I
again,
would have
I'm not.
ran with it. We on
I'm
camera. I'd be like, I'm 6'5".
so
I'm
I'm
six
not.
seven
I'm
and a
not. I'm not
half.
trying to pretend that I'm something I'm not. I'm just trying to I'm trying to be okay. I'm okay with where I am. Okay. All right. The only thing I am coming to terms with is that I know in order for even to get somebody that's literally equal to me, I'm going to have to build myself all the way up here, which
Mm.
is not something that I really desire. Okay. So, like, my whole thing with this is just the hypocrisy of all of these women that are like, oh, you know, thing we need more men protecting our women. We need more this. We need more black love. This more like, and it's like, what do you
We need more women supporting their own men.
exactly like? What are you actually trying to fight for? You have no attachment to the people that you're trying to get to fight for you. So what are we fighting for? Okay, Jada, this was his night. This was his night,
Don't get me
his crowning
started.
achievement. Okay, and yet it became all about her.
Mhm.
Protect her bald alopecia head. That's it.
But
You
protect her
know,
from what? A joke?
literally protect her from what? Chris Rock?
Like, we have to be
Someone who's
honest.
half your size?
It's not about size.
It's not
'Cause
like
it's not about
I
size, but
understand that, but the thing is, it's just like
no,
because
but a joke, it's because it wasn't about the joke.
it's
That's
not
why.
even it's not no, you're right. It's not about the joke. It's about knowing that as black people, okay, we have to collectively be in the same mindset that we have to strive so much harder that we don't give each other a break. Okay. And Will Smith, at his highest moment, okay, thought, oh crap, even in my day, I have to make sure that I have to do this for her. Okay. Because he's like, oh, like this is what I have to do. She's not going to give me a break even on my day. Okay. Like it's not acceptable for Chris Rock to say any jokes about her and her alopecia or whatever because you can't do this to women. You can't do this. You know, the world is about feelings over fact right now.
Yeah, it
Mhm.
is.
Okay?
It
So
really
it's
is.
like
That's true.
you can't do any of this stuff. Okay? And this is what you have, like, everyone has to be considerate of. This is all the pressure that is on every single man growing up today. Okay, like we have to be this top, thing just to even get picked, just to even be worthy. Okay, then we have to lay down our lives and be willing to risk everything that got us up to the top here just to feel like we're a twinkle in their eye, because their feelings matter more than the actual fact that we provide love, we provide support, we provide protection, we provide a home over your head, we provide your resources. It matters over all of that. Okay?
I agree with that, but I don't think that all men have this issue.
No, because
I
there's
think that
the
it's more
top
of
1%, but the majority of men
no, it's
do.
not the 1%. I'm not talking about the 1%. I'm not talking about the 1%. When I have conversations, it's very rare that I talk about the 1% because we all come on. Like, what would be the point of me talking to like only the 1%? Like I talk to real people about real situations. How about because there's no reason for me to talk to certain people or have certain people come on and we're talking about, the 1% because they don't have certain issues when it comes to women. Because women just have to get in line or not because they have all of these resources and they can just pick one. Oh, because she looks like a model, let's take this one. Didn't like her, let's throw her back and let's trade her in for a new model. It's a very different situation. And it also, the 1% is also, it varies based off of if it's entertainment or if it's like businessmen, because the businessmen don't play. Okay. That they work from the ground up and have to they're ruthless. Okay. I'm aware because a lot of my clients are married to these people. So I really know what I be saying, but I'm not talking to that. I'm talking to regular people who work jobs, maybe have businesses, maybe they don't, because we know majority of it's not just our people. Majority of people are not making this, substantial amount of money, So we just have to be honest, but it's not just about men who are doing that. It's the type of man and the type of situation that man is in.
Absolutely.
Because men
and
who
where he wants to be.
listen, and I see this, I said this before, this cannot be misconstrued. I'm not saying anybody needs to go find Pookie and Ray Ray. I'm just making that disclaimer before I even get started. But Pookie and Ray Ray don't have no problem getting a woman. They got the reason why Pookie and Ray Ray got so much kids is that they can't keep the woman off of them. They have surety. That's what it is. And self-respect. They respect themselves to the highest, way more than you. So because a woman knows that, she knows that, okay, I either have to, it's like double dutch. I either got to jump in or jump out because I know that he's gonna be sitting here right in the middle being Pookie. So I either got to jump in or jump out or catch my turn. That's why some men that have finances that did everything the right way, structured, really intelligent, nice guy, marriage minded, wants to be in a relationship, wants to have like a great wife and relationship, doesn't even want to cheat. Okay. He's like, I would never cheat on my wife. That's why you can find that man having a harder time with women. And you find Pookie who's like, dang, Pookie, you got all of the hot girls on the block. Can I at least have one? But it's because they're attracted to that respect, that self-respect, that the way that he carries himself. Self-respect is a lot. This comment says, I don't know about the self-respect, but they do get a lot of females. Let me break that down. Self-respect as in they put themselves before anybody. Yep. You're not just gonna be if you're acting crazy, or you a girl that's just doing all type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? That's because he knows he's not taking you serious, and he expects that from you because of all the turmoil that he's putting you through. He knows it comes with the territory, but he still puts himself first. Okay. And Snuggles, I like this comment. It says, what do you people consider cheating? That is for a different conversation. That is a very different conversation that we will have for sure. We would definitely have this conversation. Oh, I didn't see you, Black Owned. We're definitely gonna have that conversation. Black on World. Hello, how are you?
Doing good. How
I
you
didn't even
doing?
see
Salute,
you.
brother.
Yeah, I've been hiding. I was there for like
Family,
5 minutes.
I did not see you there. I'm like, because the way that it's set up is like hard for
Mhm.
me to see. But okay, please. I know you came on yesterday and you had something to add to this conversation, so I'm looking forward to what you have to say. And we're gonna wrap this up really soon, guys. Okay, this is not 5 hour stream. I came on here. I just wanted to allow the people who did not get to come on yesterday and like
Mhm.
fully and thoroughly express themselves about the situation. Kashan was one, Resident was one. You know, I just wanted
That
to
was
give
a
everybody
lady.
the space, and also Kirk was one too. Give everybody the space to be able to share their thoughts. So it was like this is like a part two continued. But yes, Black on World, please.
Oh well, how y'all doing? First off, always good to see you
What's going
Hello.
again,
on?
River. Everybody.
Yes.
Uh, when it comes to this whole thing about protection, it's funny how people forget how important it is to have the logical aspect of it,
Mm-hmm.
which
Hmm.
typically in a relationship comes from the man's side.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Women, they come with the more emotional side, which is nothing wrong with it, but there's got to be a balance between the two. And
Exactly.
when you have a relationship like Will's in, you letting her call the shots, you letting her lead, tell you when to act, then you open yourself up to more damage, to more mistakes being made. That's why I
Mm,
feel like God made men stronger but He also gave us more logic because with more power, more strength comes responsibility.
mm-hmm, mm.
So that's why you if you're in a relationship, especially Will Smith, he needs to be the leader in that relationship. He should have known, even if she told him, "Hey, hon, I want you to do something to him," because I'm not she didn't, but if she did, it would be up to him as a man to be like, "That's too much, hon. Relax. I know you feeling type of way, but logically, it's gonna set off a certain set of dominoes that we don't want to get to the end of."
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I mean,
I agree with that. Like during commercial break, they should have had this conversation.
oh yeah.
They definitely should have had that conversation. I agree with you, and also that's the point that I'm saying. Like
Hmm.
as a the man is the center. I don't care what anybody says. Okay, that's how it goes.
Hmm.
A woman is going to know she based off of how you maneuver with her is going to tell her how she can maneuver with you.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So if she sees that, okay, you just coming up, right in the beginning, you buying all these flowers and roses and candies and chocolates, and every time you talk about, oh no, don't worry about it, baby, I got you, I got you, I got you. She's then gonna be like, oh, I didn't even have to prove myself. I didn't have to do anything. I just
Hmm.
me just being me. He just wants to shower me all the time. She's gonna turn around and be like this all the time, like more and more and more and more and more and more and more. But when a
Yeah.
woman realizes that, dang, he said he not coming, or we're
Hmm.
not going out to eat because he got to work, he got something to do.
Oh yeah. You got to earn that. Like,
It's like,
it's, a lot of women think that protection just comes free. You got to earn everything. Just like a man has to earn your time and attention, and for you, the what they say call it the conditional feminism type thing.
yeah, yeah,
They'll be like, "Oh well, I'll be a feminine if
yeah,
you're
feminine.
doing
Oh
this."
yeah, femininity. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. You got it's got to be. You have to earn everything. And honestly, if he did this and if he had done the slap thing, and I feel like it would have been seen not as bad if Jada didn't already have the reputation that she has.
Mm.
If he did it and we never never heard about the August thing. Matter of fact, we heard that they're just a perfect marriage and she's not giving him any problems or bringing any issues to him through her talk show. People were like, all right, he's messed up. He shouldn't have done that. But I mean, come on, it's Jada. She's a great wife. But no one can say that now.
Mm-hmm.
It's
I know.
understandable because that's his
Mm-hmm.
wife and she's holding him down. No.
I know.
Mm-hmm.
And that, I mean, I don't know. I can't. The thing is, when it comes to that aspect, it's like there's nothing I can even say about because that's he came on to Red Table Talk and they talked about this, and he was very aware of the situation.
Mm-hmm.
So uh, that was like what it was.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that was just it.
Yeah.
So I don't. delving into that would open up a whole different situation as to maybe that's actually a good idea. maybe that's a good can of worms of a conversation that we could venture off to at a later date. But I don't want it to be attached to this, guys. Listen, I'm not gonna talk about this no more. I'm not gonna talk about it anymore. um I It was wrong. I have to stand by what I'm saying as a woman, and just thinking of the support and the honor that you're supposed to have for your man, and having his best interest at heart, not your own, not what it kind of feels like, not what you think. You know what I'm saying? And as a man who is the center, it's up to you, because if you allow a woman control over your life, okay, you can also allow for her to be the demise of it as well. You can't be all okay. I'm not gonna say you can't be all in, because it was like, River, what are you telling these men? I'm not gonna say don't be all in, but I'm just gonna say that you have to be your own person too, a whole person. You have to know right and wrong. That's why I think, and this is very contrary to what a lot of people say, but that's why I think that men dating when they're young and getting a lot of experience from different types of women is very important. And I'm not talking about different races. I'm talking about different personalities, so that you can know the nature of women and also what women are capable of doing. Sometimes you learn that from heartbreak. That's why a lot of people are red pill.
Yeah,
That
absolutely.
girl,
Yeah.
that girl cheated on him in the 5th grade, and he was like, every girl got to pay for it. But he learned a way to maneuver through relationships and situations that he can no longer be the one that's being harmed. And as men, you have to be able to. That's why your name is man. That's why you are the masculine energy. That's why you are the man. We need something, we got to call you, okay? Because you are an entity that is necessary, that's needed as well. Okay, I said I was gonna wrap this up. I have to bring Simone B on. Simone B, girl, thank you so much for getting about the bed. Okay, Simone B has been in this chat as an additional woman, commenting on the things that we're saying. So I have to hear her perspective, and then we can wrap this up after that. Okay, Simone, please, let's
Okay.
talk.
I feel two ways about this, and I
Mm-hmm.
feel like people aren't going back to Chris Rock's joke, and it's not
Mm-hmm.
always a joke. Black women are ridiculed about their hair a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I have quite a bit of hair compared to what some people believe black women should actually have, and I have
Mm-hmm.
actually had cut off my hair because that's what I wanted to do, and I
Right.
actually prefer to have my hair shorter.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it was a little insensitive, and we can say he's a comedian, it's a joke, but we can't. Some women internalize that as black women because we're always humiliated and ridiculed for not having enough hair compared to other races. So
Mm-hmm.
that's why I feel
That's
like
true.
Chris was wrong. Will was wrong for going to slap him. I mean, you just don't do that at any event. I don't care if Source Awards. I don't care. I feel like you don't put your hands on somebody simply because they didn't said something you didn't like. You can go up to them and and discuss it like
Mm-hmm.
decent human beings. So that's just my take on it. I did a whole spiel on it, but
I
that's
think,
the gist of it.
but the thing is that and I'm glad that you said that too, because I want to address this part, because I said this before, but we were talking so long that it could be misconstrued, or it could have been like went over a lot of people's head. There's a saying, you can have your right and give it away, right? You can be the one that is right and just throw that away. And I feel like that's what this situation was, because we've seen Jada with short hair. Okay, so the people who don't know that she was suffering for something, it's easy for them to just kind of be like, "What's the big deal? Like, you literally shaved your head before. We always tell you how beautiful you are. You were one of the women who are always in the media being shown. This is what a beautiful black woman of age looks like. Look at her abs. Okay, first of all, Look at her mom's abs.
Yes.
Okay.
Mhm.
They are
He's
gorgeous.
gorgeous.
Let's not get it twisted. Okay. They are beautiful. And I know that you can say this and it doesn't make it that it doesn't mean that somebody's still not going through something. But bald or not, Jada is gorgeous, beautiful woman, beautiful woman. But I think that I just wish, and I have to keep saying it. When Chris Rock made that joke, we're never gonna know if he knew or not. We're never gonna know. And I just wish that that moment would have been more of, hey, that's not cool. He would have went up there, take the mic. Take the mic. Hey, Chris, that's not funny. That's my wife. She's going through something. A lot of people go through this, and you can't just see somebody and make a joke. It's not funny. Everyone would all of these. First of all, I wouldn't have talked about it. Maybe I would have talked about it like briefly, but it would have been more of like, wow, that's messed up that Chris Rock did that if he continued, or it would have been like, it would have given him the opportunity to say, hey man, I did not know. I'm so sorry about that. Jada, you're beautiful, whatever. I hope you can forgive me. I really didn't mean it that way on a public stage. That would have given her, to me, I think that would have given her what she deserved instead of backlash. Because now you just look messy. Now with every conversation is falling back on Jada.
Yeah.
Even this one.
Yeah.
Even this one. We're not even looking at Will that much. Like, we're looking at him, but we're kind of like, you know how it's like a loving, like, we know this isn't you, like, you're going through something. This ain't you, baby. It's okay. Just go sit down. But that girl over there, that's kind of the situation that everybody is saying, because he laughed. That's the problem. He laughed, and she made the look. And we know with that long,
that look, yes.
that if looks could take somebody out of here, she would have done it. Because we know, especially us as our own Black women, we know that long eye roll. It wasn't a quick one. It wasn't like a, it was a, she wound up that eye roll from the pit of her stomach.
Yes.
And then then Will had to react. You know what I'm saying? So I also want to say this aspect. People do suffer from alopecia. Okay? It is something that can still emotionally affect you. It doesn't mean, I know people can say, she has the ability to literally fix these things. And she does. Okay? We can't say that she cannot. She can. But there are people who are in these situations and they are affected emotionally. Okay, they suffer from depression. I know someone personally who definitely has alopecia and has had it for a long time and does not have eyebrow hair. And was very shameful about it and ashamed of it and kind of stressed out about it. You know what I'm saying? So I know that it's not like it's not something that is serious. It is a serious situation. When anybody goes through anything, you never know what somebody's really going through. However,
isn't it something?
Is it worth fighting for?
Is it one of those things where, to me, it's like, if she's so ashamed of it, if it's something that really bothers her that much, then don't people typically cover the things that bother them? Like, if a guy's worried about wearing his hairline receding, he'll wear a baseball cap all the time.
They got
it's different for women though,
So,
because men bald way more than women do, and they bald a lot younger. Some bald in their teens.
Yeah, but she showed up to the awards show wearing that hairstyle. She could have wore a turban or a wrap.
She did wear turbans and wraps. But my main thing is that today I saw a post where she made a joke on it herself. She made a post about her own alopecia and said, at this point, I just have to laugh. Look at this line right here. And literally made it into a joke. And she was like, I just have to laugh. And I saw a lot of people were like, apparently that's not what you have to do. But apparently all you do is not laugh about it, because if you're so sensitive about it, I don't know if you would be on here making a joke about it to millions of people on Instagram either. If it really is that sensitive topic, that's what makes me feel like, again, we don't know, but that's what makes me feel like it's deeper than that. because she made a joke of it herself. She's like the spokesperson for it. And I think that's why she's not treating it. That's why she's not using her finances to treat it, because she can. We know that. Like, you can take hair from like, you know, other parts of your body and they can implant it there and it will make your hair grow in those spaces. She definitely can afford to do that. I think she's purposely not doing that because she knows other women don't have the capability of doing that. And so she wants to kind of stand with them in solidarity, which is completely fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
a joke,
Yeah.
you know, it's like,
Or maybe
The-
she was taking up for the other women. Maybe she felt like, okay, this isn't going to age well with other women that have alopecia.
So she told Will to
but
go
it's-
We
slap
don't know. I
Chris
mean, we
Rock
don't know what her thought process is.
for
but
other
so,
women.
so
But it's still,
let me stick up for these
a
other
joke
women and
about
have
a strong,
Go ahead,
independent
sorry.
Black
woman.
man
let me
with
stick up for
on
my
behalf of
my
other women.
yeah, let me stick up for other women and then have my husband on his most important night of his career go
Right.
risk it all for me for some other women that I don't know, that they
I'm
man at
just
home
saying,
with them in the house.
I do not agree with him getting up doing that. I
No.
don't.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
No. And I don't, and I feel like even her looking at him should not have prompted him to get up, to do anything at that moment.
She shouldn't have looked at him at all. She should
I'm
have done what most people do. She should have done what most people do when the camera pans and just
Yeah.
and let him
I do like,
and let him say what he's saying and go to commercial break. You know, you can see some celebrities be like,
Yeah.
just do that.
Oh god.
We shouldn't have seen the eye roll. That's the whole point.
they had a conversation probably that revolved around everybody coming at them, even Laverne Cox on the red carpet, all of that
See,
stuff.
that was my thing though. But that was my thing. That was my thing that I stood on all last night. Because when Laverne Cox made a entanglement joke blatantly in front of Will and in front of Jada, they did not have that same energy. But for this fellow black man who's your you know, your co-worker basically in the same career, let's be honest, you had that energy for him, but for Laverne Cox you didn't have it because of the all protected space that Laverne Cox is in, and that's not cool to me.
And I
That's
think
not
that's
cool
what,
to me.
and that too, I think would have gotten even more messier because of who Laverne Cox is, and which one would have actually been okay to check her.
But that's the point.
Yeah.
That's the whole point. When a black man make a little innocent joke, y'all got energy for him. But when somebody who's a part of this, you know, elite space of people that no one can talk about at all, then all of a sudden, you know, that's not cool. That's not nice. That's not right. We can't do this. And like, oh, you know, blah, 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 blah. Like, no, keep that same. Why didn't you have that same energy? You should have had the energy for Laverne and not for Chris. Your husband, I like this comment. Somebody said, Jada should have had smacked her husband for laughing. Be mad at Will. He was laughing.
Yeah.
He thought the joke. If your husband finds the joke funny, how is anybody going to know that there's a problem?
Exactly.
He was laughing he was laughing. Be mad at Will.
You know.
Why are you mad at this man? It's crazy.
Yeah, it's
Whole legacy could have just, you know, and they still don't know if they're gonna take it away from him. That's crazy.
You know, the precedent of not being able to crack jokes about someone because you don't know what they're going through or what they're thinking about, that's real dangerous. Like tomorrow, that would end comedy. It would revert comedy all the way back to why did the chicken cross the road?
Thank you. It's tearing the very fabric of comedy.
There's no way any comedian is going to be able to just go on stage and know what every single person is going through in their life and be able to tailor jokes toward them in that type of way. It's just not possible.
And this is why, and this is why I was happy too when I heard a lot of the comedians speaking out about it, because a lot of the hold on, what is anecdotal at best. I have no idea what you're talking about. I'm really confused at this last comment. Anyways, the thing is that a lot of these comedians that spoke up, I'm very happy because they're saying like now you're putting all of us in danger. Because everybody want to come and pull a Will now to defend whoever when they go to a comedy show. when they go to a this, when they go to a that. Like now it's putting all these comedians in a space that they can be, afraid of their financial stability, all of these things. Because when we were growing up, listen, I just want to say again, like people make some jokes like, I feel like it's our whole community. I was gonna say like because I'm, my background is my family's from Jamaica, so I'm Jamaican. I was gonna say like you normally whatever the issue was with you was that became your nickname.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Mm-hmm.
like
Yeah.
they'll be like,
Yeah.
who,
Yep.
Fatty? Oh, who you talking about, Fata?
That was
Like,
my household too.
Household.
that's
Yeah.
like our
Yep.
community. Like
They
our
called me.
community.
I was called corduroy boy in middle school because I wore these high water corduroys every day.
What is it?
Exactly.
I'm the only
Okay.
one in my family with curly hair. That's all I got
This comment
all the
says if
time.
jokes have to be non-offensive, I'm done with comedy. Okay. Are you a comedian? I don't know what you mean by you're done with comedy, but and I said I didn't understand what you're talking about. You said of course you don't. Okay, but you know what you are gonna understand? This block wedding though. Ooh, get
Hit him with the block.
'em. Clean sweep, clean sweep. Um, yeah, but that's what it was. It wasn't like this whole thing. It wasn't this whole, like, oh, people just called you stuff and you had to kind of like figure out how to maneuver. And in a sense, it taught us how to be functioning adults and, figure out how to resolve conflict.
Yeah.
Because if your boss says, I had a job that I worked at. I worked at this salon in New York, and it was all European people, like all people from where are they from? Bosnia and
Eastern Europe.
Croatia, Bosnia, right? Like very nice salon or whatever. And I worked there. And I remember like the owner of the salon was like, "Oh yeah, like you're very like Michelle Obama." And I was like, "How?" Like, what did I do that gave you that
Oh
type of vibe,
god.
And then like one time he's like talking to me and he was like, "Yeah, so like where you live, is it safe?" And I was like, "What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Like, what are you even saying?" But if I was so fly off the handle, I'm like, "Oh no, you racist." You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like, what would that have done? Besides him being like, "Oh yeah, see, there they go. Aha.
See,
No
instances like that.
Michelle. Somebody else. Oh, is that Foxy?"
I like to have those type of conversations with people because it gives me an opportunity to give them a different perspective other than the one that they were fed. So I don't get offended by those type of interactions with people all the time because they just don't know.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
ignorance. But you have to
Yeah.
be intelligent enough to know that it's ignorance.
Mm-hmm.
You know that they really don't know. You know what I'm saying? They're obviously ignorant, but and most of the time I don't have the time to teach you about it either, but I'm not going to respond ignorantly to
Yeah.
an ignorant
No,
question.
no
I'm
point.
definitely not going to do that.
I mean, if the time is allotted, I'll go ahead and give them a brief
Right.
synopsis of,
It depends on definitely depends on the situation.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like he was my boss. I definitely was like, "No, it's not. It's a really nice
He was the
home."
boss,
He was the owner.
the owner.
Yeah, I'm like, "No, it's a really nice home, sir." You know what I'm saying? And mind you, his situation wasn't even all that it was supposed to be cracked up to be. Okay, so I'm like, why are you even asking me that? But it's really ignorance of what he's seen and what he's seen portrayed, and he really just genuinely is ignorant and don't know. But if I was ignorant, if I met his ignorance with ignorance,
Nobody gets anywhere.
no one wins.
Exactly.
No one wins. And especially when you have the responsibility of being in a space that other people who they have never experienced, they see you in, like they don't know any. I probably was the only person of color that he knew, literally, like that he can speak to. And being in that space, it also gives you this kind of like innate responsibility to not react in a certain way as well, because you know that you're defending. How can I defend us by acting ignorant? You know what I'm saying? He would have been like, "Oh yeah, they're all the same. I met this girl personally. I knew her. She was it. Yeah, definitely everything that you see in the movies.
It's unfortunate,
Everything.
but we're kind of ignorant to each other sometimes. It's just
Oh, absolutely.
it's
That
annoying
Absolutely.
that too.
because
That
Absolutely.
too.
within my business, and I
It's
do
like
what
I
I
said
do.
before.
That's
We
very,
we
very true,
we
Simone.
Yeah, because
absolutely.
it's like, how could you're trying to get something from me? I'm trying to provide you a service or a product, and you're very rude. Like,
Mhm.
I
Mm-hmm.
don't get that
Mm-hmm.
with us sometimes.
Mhm.
So
Mm-hmm.
And you
Mm-hmm.
realize that, though. That's the thing, because we are put. It's not about race or anything, but the fact that we are always the ones put up front for everybody to see is
Mm-hmm.
what is what the issue is. They only see one thing from us: the
Mm-hmm.
gangsters, the pimps, the riding neighborhood. They don't see everything that we are, just what they want, what's put out there for us,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
you know. And so they're
Yeah.
going off of that. And so when they meet somebody like us, who's cool, calm, collected, speaking the same way they're speaking, they're in shock. I can't tell you how many times, how many different places I've been. And the moment I open my mouth, people's eyes going, because I'm not,
I
yeah,
always
my
heard
boy
that.
this, my ego that. No, that's not how I talk or carry myself. But because I look a certain way, you're expecting me
I always
because of what
heard
you
that.
talk.
I always heard that when I was growing up. Like, oh girl, and it was from oh girl, you
Mhm.
black, but you're not like black black. I'm like, so
Oh,
does saying it twice
oh,
change anything? Because
yeah, because
yeah,
because
exactly.
I used to get the. I didn't think you knew how to dance. I guess just because of the way I
and you're like,
Right.
girl, I dance on
But
the table.
Well, I mean, because
he's
that
like,
person
you
don't
don't
know how
want to
to
go
dance,
there
so I
with
think
me.
you get nah.
I didn't think you know how to dance. You're like, what?
Mhm.
Yes.
What a
No,
strange stereotype.
right. What a strange, like, for real, like, no, see, I know that experience for sure. Like, I definitely know that experience. And like, I was always like, like, hey, yeah, cause us, and they're like, no, like, you don't really get it. I'm like, no, but I really do get it. They're like, no, you don't get it. I'm like, no, but I really, like, I promise, I get it.
Mhm.
They're like, no, we don't really need you to say anything. Let us say it because you don't. Again, I open my mouth and they're like, yeah, you like a white girl. I'm like, what? This is
Hmm.
just how I talk. Like,
Right. Right.
It's
what do you want me
sad.
to do? And why, as a black person, are you saying that speaking intelligently is of another race than yourself?
Mm-hmm.
Because
Hmm.
It's
Thank
weird
you.
how our culture is
Ebonics
like
is
that.
not our bona fide language.
It's
Hello,
not. It's
disclaimer.
really
Mm-mm.
not.
Nope.
You can walk up to some people and tell them like, Ebonics, and they're like, what are you talking about? Is that a book or
Right.
like? No, it's not. It's not the end all be all. We don't have all act a certain way. And what makes
No.
me so disappointed in that too is like if you even go to a place like Africa, you see everything. You see
Hmm.
different pigments, different
Hmm.
tones of skin, straight nose, soft
Hmm.
hair, curly hair,
Yep.
short hair, straight hair, dark skin, light
Hmm.
skin. You see it all. So like let's not act like we're like this we're just one way across the board and we have no depth. That's not
Exactly.
possible. That's not possible. It's
Mm-hmm.
literally impossible. So I don't know. I think that's crazy, but that's really true. And I think in having these conversations, we can kind of like solve certain things and have broader conversations at least. Get
Hmm.
things going in a positive direction, shed more light on certain situations as well. I loved touching this aspect because one simple 2-minute situation covered a multitude. Okay,
Hmm.
so many different people's opinions, feelings. I seen it too, guys. I haven't get to watch anything yet because I was on here last night for too long, and I'm still tired. But I saw it like in my feed everywhere, in
Hmm.
social media and like YouTube, like recommended topics, and like everyone has their own perspective. But I think when we get to the root of it, it's just about one thing I love is when I see people who are not necessarily because I don't want them to take. I'm gonna be honest. I don't want them to take the Oscar back. I
I
don't.
don't
mm,
either.
I
I
do.
don't promote
Not
violence. I
necessary.
don't.
I
I
I
do.
I don't.
don't.
I
I
don't
don't
think he.
promote
I
I
violence
don't
at
think it
all.
should.
I say they have to because it'll show that there are repercussions to acting out against a successful, strong black man.
Well, if they were going to do that, why didn't they do that right after?
They should. Why didn't they
Yeah,
put him out?
Why did they
Because
allow
they
him to
because
go back on that stage and receive his award if that was needed? Why didn't they do it then?
they didn't do it
The
because they
reason
wanted to put out the idea that it's okay to go around slapping black men like that.
I don't know.
As long as it's within the defense of a woman, it's okay to slap a black man.
I don't even think it's that. I just think that it's just black people doing what black people are supposedly like
Supposed to
doing,
do.
and
Yeah.
it's monetizable because no one is watching the
Mhm.
Oscars.
No
No one's
one.
watching it.
And
Absolutely
And you
no
know
one.
what now?
yeah,
It's
I'm
on
coming at
every feed.
as a fan of Will Smith. Like,
I'm a fan of him too.
as long as people are saying, as long as nothing happens, it's
Mhm.
only going to further perpetuate the idea that it's okay to do things like that to our men,
Correct.
Exactly. And
Absolutely.
nobody will care about it.
and
I
no one
agree
cares.
with that. I agree with
And
that. But
yeah, that's
I'm just saying that on the faith of just like knowing how amazing of an actor he is and how hard he's worked to
Mhm.
be where he is. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of sad. Like this is his first Oscar, and it's like I think it's also it just makes me so mad when I think every time I think about this situation, I get mad all over again. And I could talk for another 4 hours because I get so mad all over again because I'm
Mhm.
like, Will Smith, who we saw from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, like, turned rapper, turned what was the movie? Men in Black
Mhm.
Mike
to
Larry.
the Pursuit of Happiness to the Bad Boys to the so many different aspects that we've seen him putting his work in, you
Yeah.
know, putting the time in. A time that we can be like, yay,
Mhm.
our brother that we seen from forever ago since you were a kid. You're getting an
Mhm.
Oscar
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
that's just completely overshadowed. It's so insane to me. It's so insane to me. It really hurts my feelings. I
Best
get
part
all
is
upset about it. I get
best
so
part.
upset.
My mind goes to you can do something 100 times, and
Mhm.
99 times you are right, and then on 100th time you are wrong, and because you are wrong that one time, they want to strip you of everything, and I just don't think that that is a fair consequence.
But I know, but I also agree with Black Owned World because at the same time, if they don't do anything, people will do it again and see that there's no repercussion for their actions,
Absolutely.
Mhm.
and that's respecting the Oscar stage, respecting the space, and
Mhm.
respecting other
Mhm.
people too as well. So that's the
Mhm.
problem.
I
I
think
want
if people do that, then that's something they got to deal with, because I don't see that, me personally, and I don't see that as an opportunity to go to the Oscars and do something like that. I don't see that as, okay, he got away with it, I could do it too. My brain doesn't think that way, but I'm
but
not saying other people's don't. I
But
get
other
it.
you have to
people's
remember,
brain does. Well,
Yeah.
Will
the
A
did
average
lot
it.
of people are
person is of a
influenced by
cheap mindset.
celebrities.
Yeah.
There's
So I
there's
get
it's
I get
just
where you're
it's a
coming
code of
from.
conduct.
Things for
Yeah, they'll
some
be like,
people
well,
it
Will
will.
did it.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
what happened now? Oh, so y'all like Will more than me? Okay, see, that's
Yeah.
what they can't deal
Yeah.
with.
Guys
You
gonna
These
know,
be
are
on
also
the
the
You can
subway
same
have
talking
people
about,
people
you
that
saw
on
you looking
don't.
at
social
my
media.
girl? Like it's like, no,
Exactly.
I wasn't even looking in your direction. Well, I gotta
Right,
protect
right.
her honor.
and I said it
Exactly.
before when Kanye went up there and all he did was snatch a mic. Everybody had a hissy fit. Will Smith happened. They're like, "Oh yes, yes, defend her." And Kanye was defending Beyonce, and he made a really blatant statement that I don't think he was even wrong on.
But he took it from a white girl though. He
He
took the
was
mic from a
saying,
white
Exactly.
girl.
"Are we trying
Exactly.
to say that our black men deserve no honor?
Huh?
Is that what we trying to say?
No, I'm saying that
Not
the
you,
reason why
not
Kanye took
you,
heat. Oh,
not you. Say I'm not talking to you.
oh, my
No.
bad.
I'm
Listen, brother.
saying because he snatched the mic from Taylor, we villainize Kanye. But when a black man slap another black man, it's cool. It's cool.
Exactly.
I
They're
want to read
painting
this
the
comment
picture.
on the screen really quick. It says, "You guys really have to open your mind. Love you, River, but it's going over your guys' head. Everything you're saying is true, but this is why they triggered this BS to begin with. No, it's not going over my head. I'm very aware of what
I'm
the
not even.
situation is. But I even said it yesterday. Regardless of if it's staged or not, regardless of if it's attached to a bigger plan or not, regardless of if it's attached to anything else or not, This is a teachable moment because we have people who are out here acting off of emotion and impulses. So we're going to stand on it ain't cool, it ain't fun, regardless of the exact situation, you know? So I definitely wanted to say that. But guys, I thoroughly,
Yeah.
I'm really glad. Exactly. And what's the purpose of staging is I honestly don't know. But I guess again, just to show that we can keep on, look how good, look how high they get. They still gonna be a N-word, that's how they gonna look at us. But
Yep.
regardless of the situation, I'm really glad that I came back and had this part two because we went to a whole different sector of the conversation. So this goes to show we would have been on here for 8 hours to have the full conversation that was necessary for that situation. And I want to thank everybody who came on and did share their perspective, and especially you, Simone, because I saw you in the comments and I know you were not ready to come on here, and I'm so glad that you did.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome.
I'm so glad. Yeah,
I made a promise the first time I came on. I said, okay, I'll be on camera next time because I was dead tired last time.
Yeah.
But I like the conversations that you put forth. I just wanted to say to you, because the first time I heard you speak and what your thoughts and feelings were about family, it really touched me in a way that let me know that you have hope. And that's one thing that I feel like is lacking from this space is people being transparent about the hope that they have for successful relationships and families. And I feel like you bring that to this space. So I support you so much.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Oh, guys, I'm emotional. I'm gonna have to cut the camera off. She said,
it's an emotional thing because
it is.
I always wanted that for myself, and it did not happen and play out the way that I wanted it to. So when I heard you say that, it was like it brought back the 20-something-year-old Simone, because I was like, I had that hope. And it's good to know that somebody else out here has it and they're speaking about it.
Yep, because this is a very, very quick little thing I'm just gonna say, and then I'm gonna cut back to the exit. But because you know what it is, it takes that 20-year-old Simone. It doesn't take the Simone that's at whatever stage or age you are at now. Because when we were young, right, when we teenagers and stuff like that, we just jump into stuff. It's like, oh yeah, roller coaster, jump. Oh yeah, jump off a cliff, let's do it. Like so eager because we were looking at the glass half full all the time. And this is actually something that I'm going to talk about with you guys. I hope you guys can join in. I've decided that I'm going to be doing this thing called motivational Sundays. Motivational, not to get confused with motivational. No, motivational Sundays. And we are going to talk about different aspects of like conversations. And this is actually one of the topics that I had, because we were able to gaze the world positively. But the more that you go through, the more situations that happen, the more that things maybe don't work out as planned, the more you start to say, you know what, people were right, that glass was actually half empty and it's not true. It's all about your perception. So that means a lot to me by what you said, because if you can feel that, that means that what I'm here talking about and what I'm here doing is being effectively heard from the right people and from the right ears. So I really, really love that so much. And especially you being another Black woman coming on here saying that. That means a lot to me as well. Not to say I don't care about nobody else, because I know some of you guys get jealous. Okay. I'm not saying I don't care about anybody else. I'm just saying because we know how, again, in this space, I've been called, you picked me, mammy. Oh, I can't.
But I think the anger comes from the loss because they lost hope. I think that's where a lot of the anger is coming from.
Yeah. How dare you? How dare you still have hope when I've been through so much stuff? And I'm like, but mama, maybe it's you.
Yeah.
How dare you? You pick me, mammy. I have to say them together. I don't know why, but
because they feel like, I guess, shameful for some of the things that have happened.
Shameful, yes. But I'm really glad again about this conversation that we've had together. I don't know where Edward is. Okay, have no idea where Edward he fell off somewhere. I have no idea where he went. But I want to thank everybody who was a part of this conversations. And oh, Snuggle said, "Are you emotional like Will, or is it a different type of?" I'm emotional because I am a woman, okay, and I have a
Right.
soft heart, as I
Hey.
should, because I am a feminine woman who is very compassionate. So it's I cry easily, and I embrace it. Okay, I genuinely embrace it. So yes, River cries. River cries if she happy. River always cries. Okay, I think it's very healthy and it's a positive thing. Now I'm not, overly emotional. Now I'm not saying that I'm on the deep end crying for no reason. Sometimes you gotta be like, "Are you okay? Should you talk to someone?" I'm not saying I cry like that. I'm just saying, I wear my emotions boldly on my sleeve as I should because my heart is always in the right place. So thank you guys so much for joining. I'm so glad I did this part two and allowed again for this evolution of a conversation. We touched on so many different things. We touched
Mm-hmm.
on black culture, what Resident was saying, what Mr. Logic said, which I'm gonna have to ask Mr. Logic about that conversation and maybe go back and catch a replay and we can talk about that. We did talk about what Simone B was saying about how many people really do suffer from these things,
Mm-hmm.
and the severity of the situation. However severe, however stressful, we all collectively agreed that slap was foolishness. Okay, shouldn't have happened.
Mhm.
Zeus bringing in the aspect of like, if it happened in other spaces ever, a lot of people would lose out on every opportunity without fault. They don't care who he is and how much he's done for whatever community. You know what I'm saying? Black on the world offering so much perspective on the balance of the two and him being the center of the relationship, and of course Kashan. Okay, Kashan came in and reiterated literally every single dynamic, and he was not holding anything back when he was talking about Jada taking that moment away. Okay, Jada taking the moment away and not supporting her husband as she should have when she has already pulled him through the trenches. Okay, this was your time to chill. This was your time to just not say nothing. For one moment, can you just not say anything? For one moment, can it not be about you? We definitely delved into that. And I want to again thank everybody who came in, who called in. I know I kind of popped up on here, but I told you guys I would be here, so I did show up. My next live stream was supposed to be tomorrow. I'm tired. Okay. I had a
Get the
whole I
rest.
had
Get
this
the rest.
whole I had this whole week planned. Okay. And I was like, because remember where we left off? I know Kashawn Zeus, you guys probably don't necessarily remember at the tip of your, the tip of your brain, but I had a whole bunch of conversation ready based off of the last conversations that we had. And
Mm-hmm.
then this foolishness happened. And I was like, dang it. Check my Instagram, beyond my DM. Everybody was like, you have to, please email. You
Feed
have
the
to.
algorithm.
They were like, "We don't care what else you want to talk about. Talk about this." So I did. So I will see you guys, I think, on Thursday night. Okay. I don't know. I know this is a little different. I'm enjoying having these conversations with you guys. So Thursday I should be. If not, just stay close to my Instagram, okay? Because sometimes, but Sunday for sure. Okay. Thursday it should be, but Sunday absolutely for sure. Again, I already enlightened you guys about this motivational conversation that you are going to want to be a part of. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be epic, and it's going to be a space that we can have these conversations candidly, but about upliftment. I don't think that we have enough uplifting conversations. And I think you guys will get to see a very different side of me on motivational Sundays as well. Just want to keep that clear, a more in depth as to certain things. I'm not going to say too much. So yeah, so thank you guys again so much for watching. All the people who were in the comment section, even the person I had to block. Okay, I did not forget about you.
In the
Thank
bleachers.
you for joining the live stream, the conversation as well. Thank everybody who came up on and had the conversation. Everybody in the comment section. Kendrell, thank you so much for your great moderation during the stream. Kendrell, you told me you were going to send me an email. I'm just reminding you. Okay, just reminding you about the email. Edward, I don't know where you are. Love anyways. So thank you guys, and I will see you guys in the next video. And I want to say one thing: make sure that you guys are taking time to self-care. Okay. With all these things that we see constantly going on, social media, conversations, the drama, every time you scroll on Instagram, especially if you follow pages like maybe like, Tea Room, Shade Room, whatever the case is, we always see so much stuff going on, especially in a space like 2022. It's like if it's not somebody who's checked out, it's like so many like heartbreaking things. Sometimes you have to retreat and protect your energy and your space and remember to enjoy life. You're not just here to work and pay bills and that's it. Life is to be enjoyed. Okay, so I just want to say that. And enjoyment doesn't have to be a big thing. Enjoyment can be, I'm not cooking tonight. Okay, I'm going to buy something nice. I'm going to sit in front of this TV and this is what I'm doing for the evening. Enjoyment can be a nice bubble bath, shower. Enjoyment can be just taking a walk outside and actually looking at life instead of going from your car to a building to your car back into the house. Look at the life around you. That's what it's here for, and we're privileged. Okay, privileged to be able to experience this. Let's not forget that. So thank you guys so much for watching. I love you guys so very much from my heart. I do. If I wouldn't say it if I didn't mean it. Okay, I love you guys, and I will see you guys in the next video. Take care.
Bye, Rivah. Bye, guys.
You can step into my world, see the way I see it, no matter near or far. It is a sight worth seeing. Step into my world, see the way I see it. Rivah TV.